I blew my own ears out. Jeez.
What did you do?
I was just like, woo! And then, oh no!
Also, you
Huh?
We've been recording for 20 seconds. Record. I just let you know. We are back with this episode of the Out of Pocket TCG podcast. Welcome, everybody. I am Zechs, and we are on Zeta's channel today because I guess I'm just unable to stream now. I guess I am forever unable to stream on Twitch now because I don't get it.
We will figure the problem out.
Because
It will be, I don't know, next podcast episode is going to be the troubleshooting one where we try to diagnose OBS and then get to the main topic after 3 hours.
I do not wish for that to be the case.
I don't either.
But anyway, for those of you who missed last week, first off, thank you for ZRG for showing up and being a guest. Secondly, we are sorry that the episode is probably the worst one we've ever done, unfortunately. Because not only did we have connection issues on my end again, but then immediately after those connection issues, we went on for about another 4 hours. And during 3 of those 4 hours, and I made a terrible error because OBS had switched from recording the audio from Discord in a different way. So for 3 hours, I had no idea what was going on because it's always on the connection in the call with me and Zeta. However, this time, for some unknown reason, it didn't even record the audio anymore because it switched up because it had made a new call, despite the fact that it was recording the old call for 2 hours prior to us ending the stream. Like, it worked perfectly fine for 2 hours, and all of a sudden it just made a whole new window. So 3 hours, probably the best 3 hours of the entire podcast, are now gone.
Yeah, it was a historic podcast episode.
Yeah.
That no longer exists.
Which I have my audio, but anybody want to hear me talk? Especially when it's a guest episode.
Like, it was the yap of all time.
Yes.
It was the greatest yap in the world. Whoa. I'm kidding. I'm not making Tenacious D references in 2025. God, no. Help me.
So, yeah. So this is going to be... So I'm basically taking the back half of this episode off after we get through topics and the card game topics and usual week, the break time event. Because I think I deserve one after trying to deal with that. So
it was shut down after the 10-hour mark. Thank you for asking, Pink.
Anyway, how was your break time?
Oh man. Well, weekend. No. I got a bit further in Dynasty Wars Origins. Game is actually can be pretty difficult, surprisingly, for Dynasty for a Muso game.
Yes, I've heard it is probably the most complex in a while.
Lu Bu's introduction is a horror level. I kid you not. They said do not pursue Lu Bu and say he's gonna pursue you for like 20 minutes. And then shouts out of that. Good old boss man came in for this week at my job. So that was a pain in the ass. Like, I don't know. And then everyone just started firing at me on Friday for today for like no reason at all.
Wow.
Like I'm just catching strays from every single person for no reason. Like I woke up and everyone else chose violence. I mean, outside of things, and the sleep stream that was neat. I guess the best part about the sleep stream is I had the audio off on my end, so everyone just heard background music for like 10 hours. That works out for me.
Yeah, congratulations on getting that free money.
Right. Got caught up with the that Magic the Gathering manga, Destroy All Humanity Can't Be Regenerated.
Ah, how was it?
It's I don't know how I feel about the manga. Like the start is so great, and then you can kind of see the universe slowly and slowly turn into Yu-Gi-Oh in like real time.
Yeah,
And now we have card game new types.
I like all card games.
Right. Magic Hour. Because they couldn't come up with a better name.
Wait, that's their.
That's that's what they call it, Magic Hour.
Damn, they suck. Like,
Man, it's a realistic setting and they're playing Magic the Gathering. It may as well be something as boring as Magic Hour.
there's no sauce anywhere on that. No
No.
sauce, no season, nothing at all. Wow.
And like it's so weird. Because I even like went back to like chapter one to like double check the character designs, and over time you can just see this dude turn from like random nerdy Poindexter into a Yu-Gi-Oh protagonist. And how sharp his face keeps getting.
Hmm.
Good time.
You see the change in real time. I see. Okay.
Like his body is physically morphing into a card game protagonist.
I thought this is supposed to be a love story,
Yes.
and I thought
It's
the
also
girl was
Yu-Gi-Oh
the main
now.
lead. I'm confused.
No, the guy is the main lead. There's even a love triangle.
Oh boy.
Oh
Not more of
yeah.
those. Not more of those in my life.
Always more of those. And that's that in summary.
All right.
How about you?
Oh, you're done?
Yeah, I mean, there's not much. I don't have much left to talk about. Unless Ranger Reject, I'm still waiting for like translations. So yeah.
Okay. Well, I can't. Uh, we're getting back to back to back Chainsaw Man chapters again.
Sweet.
You say sweet, but now I'm really confused of what the hell Fujimoto is doing.
Isn't just Fujimoto's normal like MO? Confuse
True, but
everyone and do
now I'm just
crazy.
like, okay. But now it's like starting to actually become I guess you could say arguably like almost annoying at this point.
Man, you would not have survived Fire Punch Winter.
I mean, it's kind of the thing of like reading and like uh a manga as it's being released, right?
Right.
It's like you don't know where you're going, so obviously like issues kind of show up in terms of how the story's being told weekly or bi-weekly as opposed to just having all in one go and it flowing better, right? Because like that's how
Oh
I
yeah.
read Chainsaw
I'm
Man
not.
originally, right? Was just I read it all in one go, caught up to part two, and was enjoying it. Now that I'm caught up, it feels like the ride is just kind of there, right? Especially with how random, with how we'll just have a break and then no break and then break and then no break and
Man,
it kills the momentum.
I mean, I felt that same with like Ranger Reject. Like initially, like when it first came out, there was like a bunch of backlog of chapters, right?
Yeah.
And then the manga entered like a really, really long arc that you can argue say it nearly killed the manga's popularity. And then there's like a hiatus in the middle of that arc. Like, oh no. Like, yeah, it's just that week to week. And now, it's week to week craziness. I have no clue where things are going. Just like with Chainsaw Man. Like, oh, well, this is weird.
Yeah. So, and now manga, I am 10 chapters away from the ending of the Darling in the Franxx manga. I basically read through volumes 3, 4, and 5 and 6 basically in a day. I went through 4 volumes basically in a day, so now I'm on the last 2 volumes, 7 and 8.
You speed ran that.
I did, mostly because, like, and this is kind of the weird part, like,
Good.
those, it reminded me why I liked the show originally, which was, that entire section was pretty much just like, uh, that that four squad of Goro, Ichigo, Hiro, and Zero Two, kind of like all that weird soup of shenanigans being around, and then you kind of have like Zorome and Miku kind of on the side, like they don't really matter, right? Like, but like those four were like the core of the show, which is one of the reasons why I still kept watching it.
Yeah.
And it's like having most of the manga basically just be that segment was really good.
Mm.
Like it actually did remind me why I like that show and why I was so upset. Like, for example, like I kind of only went a little bit because I hadn't gone through it at the time. But I think kind of the details of chap volume 5 is basically that is based on 2 things. It's kind of like based on 3 things. One, it's Ichigo kind of going through her arc of kind of dealing with her feelings for Hiro and Goro as well, right?
Right.
Then there's also like the build up to the inevitable the eventual partner swap that basically took Futoshi and turned him into a useless character.
Uh,
Like, I'll talk about that more in a second. But it's that, and then kind of like the kind of kind of building on thing, and then volume 5 kind of concludes with Goro's backstory, him saying "I love you" to Ichigo, and then the reveal of Delphinium Stampede mode, which was the big like reveal in the manga at the time, because I don't think that it ever happened in the show that any of the other Franks got Stampede modes.
that kind of reminds me of what happened with like Majestic Prince a little bit, where like the main character gets the super mode and like you don't get to see it for anyone else until the movie like years later.
Yeah, but it's like you get to that chapter 5, and then it's like you see Ichigo turn down feeling in a Stampede mode, and then you find out a lot more about Stampede mode, as it's actually more of the I forget what it is, but like you know the pistol and a stamen, but who cares? It's like the female pilot basically takes that mode on as like a last ditch effort, because the whole idea is supposed to be at very least somebody can fight the Klaxosaurs, either by the female kind of crashing out or by the male self-destructing.
Right.
But it's like the point is you're taking out Klaxosaurs in some way. So
You know?
so it's like it actually goes through that whole thing of, you know, it's and she kind of goes, that moment was like she understands a lot more of Zero Two. Like they actually have a kind of like a bonding moment in that with each go in Zero Two, and that like I can, she, you know, she starts to understand. I can understand why you, uh, you know, you a little bit more now Zero Two in going into the Stampede mode, because it's a lot. And then we have the Goro goes in and rescues her, because rescues her. They regain Delphinium and they beat the Klaxosaur. And that's when
Like, I feel like
Goro
this benefit of
says
the
like,
manga,
yeah, I love
having
you.
manga.
Huh?
I feel like it's benefit of having manga. Like, you can actually, have time instead of having that one special play of the game scene in every episode that has to be built up to.
Yeah. So that's volume 5. And volume 6 is the attack to Grand Crevice, the build to that, and with the nines. And it basically is like the reveal that the nines, it basically, there's like, you know, the affiliate thing was one thing, but like now the volume 6 is basically like we're now changing the whole back half of the story, because now let me double check a event. Yeah, what episode was that? um yeah, so I don't remember, but it's like there was a point of the, because like the whole thing at the end was supposed to be like the Klaxosaur Queen finally shows up in Dr. Frank's backstory, because they get to Grand Crevice around 1819, or like that whole thing, but they don't actually do anything with it. So instead, what they do here is volume 6 is basically the nines are basically trying to like, it's a whole thing about the nines in which they're going to Grand Crevice to kind of prune the horde of Klaxosaurs in the way. And then the prince, and then 01 shows up, takes over one of their Franks, captures 9 Delta, takes her Franks, turns it into her own personal one, and then basically kills every other nines except for Alpha and Delta. Whereas those guys basically made it all the way to the end of the show until like the next to last episode, where they all kind of just died unceremoniously. So it was basically, that's how like the princess got actually like revived, or rather like was actually shown off. I can't hear you. Are you can't be muted? What? It can't be stereos, definition audio.
Want to be? Huh?
What?
I shouldn't be muted.
That was weird. Discord just straight up,
What?
just like I don't know. Just it didn't copy you.
Oh wow, that's weird.
I don't know what's going on anymore,
Sorry.
man. But
Yeah,
yeah, I'm
that's
sorry. Go on and say what you were trying to say.
sure. Like it feels like Frank's like as like the property as a whole wanted to have its cake and eat it too, right? Like it wanted to be it wanted to be Kisniver, it wanted to be Aquarion, it wanted to be Goldenar, it wanted that typical triggerness to it. It's like it feels like a work that wanted to have it all. And arguably kind of paid the price
Oh, it paid the
outside
price.
of the manga.
It paid the price, all right.
Yeah.
So that is pretty much the gist of Volume 6. Is the nines get their ass beat by the princess. Uh, they barely make it out, and so the team saves Alpha and Delta from getting effectively executed, and that's when we kind of get the little glimpse of Hachi and Nana's backstory. Which it's just a glimpse. That's kind of it. But it's mostly now. It's like now the nines are kind of nine alpha. Now actually has more understanding with the team, which now goes into volume 7, which I'm still in the middle of, which is the partner, which is the this is the whole partner shuffle thing, which in the anime that was when Kokoro and Futoshi stopped being partners. She she switched to Mitsuru. Futoshi got Ikuno, and then that led into probably the second worst arc in the entire show,
Uh-huh.
in my opinion, because like their arc was
The ending
so
is not the worst part. Like
like yeah, the ending's the worst part, but it's also because just the way they handled that whole Mitsuru and Kokoro partnership and the lack of handling of Futoshi and the utter wasted potential of Ikuno
uh,
in
like
that
nothing
segment.
about that part looked like felt good.
Like, yeah, nothing about that felt good. Because I remember in the show, Kokoro made the decision. I forgot what exactly happened. I remember Kokoro made the decision for the partner shuffle,
Mm-hmm.
and she did that, and it effectively made Futoshi irrelevant for the entire series. Like
Yep.
so much so that people do not like him. Like nobody will stick up for him. No one will do anything. It's because he has no character. All he is
Right.
basically a fat kid who loves cake and wants Kokoro, but she chose a different man, and then we had the whole NTR bit. That whole joke about the NTR bit, and
Yeah.
then Mitsuru lays down the pipe, and we have the whole baby thing. Oh god, that arc was terrible, bro.
Yeah.
So, what did they do in the manga that's different? Well, for one, it's the next to last volume.
No, no, no.
Like we're almost done with the entire series. Like I think like we've now kind of fused in to now kind of combined that arc with the whole hero becomes a Klaxor part and Zero
Mhm.
Two kind of getting connected to the princess and all that.
This is what I mean by doing too much.
But like before that, we have the partner shuffle. So
Right, like, that second half of, like, the series just was going in, like, 5 different directions.
yeah. So we now move Mitsuru's backstory to the end, where it's like, okay, this is what Mitsuru is. You know, he got injected to become a parasite. You know, and you know the whole thing with Hero. You know, he wanted to ride with Hero, which on closer inspection now kind of makes me realize like, was Mitsuru supposed to be like the gay one the whole time?
Aw.
Because I think of that and I think of how he and Ikuno don't connect, and how
Right.
the way the manga kind of puts it, like their stories are very much connected. Because he wanted to ride with Hero, and but Ikuno basically falls in love uh with
Oh,
Ichigo,
no, yeah,
which I'm
I
just thinking
think
about.
you
It's like,
have a point
yeah, they
here.
kind of wanted him. Like at very least, he's meant to kind of be like the bisexual, but
Mm.
like not like the like the more I think about it, it's like, cause like he has been so hung up over the fact that Hero, because of him not being able to become a parasite like originally intended. You know, he kind of got cooked and like forgot about the promise.
Oh, shoot, yeah, you know, you're on to something. That I don't know if that makes this series better or worse.
Uh, it makes it
I feel like it makes things even worse.
it makes it confusing,
Yeah.
because reading that into taking that into like into account as a concept.
And then with how destructive the partner swap was.
Like, yeah, in the show, it's like, yeah, no, this is,
Like Futoshi actually got screwed.
yeah, Futoshi
Even
got
harder.
screwed by a gay man. That's
God.
that makes it all the
Jeez.
worse.
Oh no.
Mm.
God, we're on the fourth dimensional NTR now.
It's actually kind of awkward when you like take a look at it. It's like, especially when I read it in the manga and how they connected there, because this side of part swap is a lot more involved, because everybody gets development.
Right.
Because so one thing, you know, we talk about Futoshi. Let's talk about Futoshi. In the way the anime handles him is, he is basically a joke. He is just fat kid that doesn't deserve love. His his partner
Yep.
leaves him, you know, leaves him for another dude, and he's stuck with the outcast, who is, you know, also a lesbian. Like, and I'll get
Yep.
to Ikino in a second, because they do something with her that is kind of more controversial than how they do it in the show. But
Oh
we'll talk
no.
about it. But you have, you know, the whole thing is like, Kokoro leaves. They have the whole thing, and then we don't get into that detail until later, in which it's just Kokoro and Mitsuru. But this time, Futoshi's the one who decides to do the partner swap.
All right. That's a yeah. That's a pretty big change.
And the reason is because Mitsuru, you know, with the reveal of Mitsuru's backstory in the elixir, it turns out that his white yellow blood cell count is like getting lower. So so the manga makes it a big deal that, like, yeah, he loves Kokoro. Like, to him, that is the person he loves.
Right.
However, he knows full well, he kind of knows full well that, like, he has a lot more connection to Mitsuru than him. And he's very much understanding of that. But the whole point is supposed to be like, Futoshi's supposed to be like, I'll read his uh detail, right? It's laid back and goes through life at his own pace. Right? That's his character bio in the manga.
Mm.
We never get that in the show because he's just, you know, a joke. But he had that
Right.
moment and he's thinking about it because Misuru's like, don't tell, Kokoro. And he's like, I know he doesn't want me to tell her. But then what do I do to help him? And so he makes a decision and he talks to Ikuno. He's like, this might be the best play we got to make sure Mitsuru is okay. And so he says, I want to swap partners with Mitsuru. So he gets Ikuno and Mitsuru and Kokoro become partners.
You know, I thought about something.
Yeah.
Miku and Zerome are like so perfect. They don't come up in any conversation about this series.
No, well, that's because they
They're
don't really
so
get
there.
anything.
They're so there and non-controversial.
Like, they get one. I think they kind of get the least thing, but considering how the show ends, like, they kind of just they kind of come out the most unscathed. They're just
Right.
idiots. Like, they get a little something. They moved the
They are the one functional couple in every drama.
yeah. It's like they get something at the end of volume 6. No, wait, at the end of volume 4, I think. Yeah. Whereas, like, they do the whole, like, they're inside the adult city and they're kind of like running from each other. But this time, Miku and 02 actually, like, get, like, time together and they kind of, and, like, that whole kind of workout, like, of their differences. So they give 02 a lot more time with the actual pilots, the female pilots too, which is also good.
Right.
Because I feel like that's kind of like a part of Frank's that, from what I remember, just never really worked. I think as well as they
They're
thought.
just not actually part of the cast. Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty much like, I want my darling, and that's it. Right?
Yep.
It's like, she has moments with Ikuno, she has with Miku. She doesn't really have moments with Kokoro and Ikuno, but like Miku and Ichigo are like the two main leads, but like the two she has the most like time with,
Right.
which I think is fine. I think that's probably just the best they could do with altering things already.
Yeah.
So that happens. Now, Ikuno is probably the one character I because I'll talk about Kokoro in a second, but Ikuno kind of gets a weird scene.
No.
Because right before the partner swap, like before, like, as like Futoshi is like thinking about the partner swap and whatnot, we have a bath scene where Ikuno and Ichigo are bathing.
Uh-huh.
And it kind of comes to this weird head where it's like, the whole thing is like Ichigo's like, hey, don't worry about it. You know, I know you can support him. And then Ikuno just finally says, I can't support him because I don't, and then she just kind of has the moment of like, I don't think it's for them. It's like, you two are partners. But it's like, not really, because I can't think about him that way. I think about you that way. And comes the scene in which she then kind of like tackles Ikuno, then kind of tackles Ichigo onto the
Oh
ground,
no. Oh no.
has one of her legs in between hers.
Zechs, we don't need you to describe the scene.
But the whole point is supposed to be is that it comes off very awkward. The presenting of the scene comes off very awkward because it's like, any other series would be like, this would be the moment where it's like we get the borderline R word scene,
Uh-huh.
but excuse me. But it's supposed to be this moment where, and I'll say this, I don't think it's one mostly the scene itself in the vacuum's fault, or Ikuno's fault. I think really this is one of those things where I say like the manga doesn't really do a good job of doesn't do a great job of like kind of going through Ikuno's like plight, as opposed to like how I think the show just kind of did her plight her story a little better in terms of her not really being, you know,
I feel like by the laws of the way this show and its plot is structured, she was always going to get screwed over.
yeah, but it's like,
Like there's no way they can do proper service to her character.
no, it's like, but like I think just the manga just does so much with the other stuff, they don't really have the time to kind of like it's too subtle, I guess. I'm saying,
It's not that, but like you also
because
the rest of Darling of the Franxx is already in its own Gordian knot.
you know what,
Ikuno just keeps adding another knot.
yeah, like again, the whole partner shuffle thing is 4 characters having to deal with their relationship. One basically kind of wanting to be the trad wife, one who's a lesbian, one who's the fat nigga, and you got the fourth one who might be gay, as we figured out today. And this is
Yep.
also happening in another foursome between our main characters.
And like
At the same time, no, and then you got Miku and Zorome just chilling in the back fighting each other, and then you've got the plot of the Klaxosaurs, and it's like, damn, we got somebody gotta give.
and then 5 minutes later some aliens start showing up.
I haven't gotten to the ending, but I'm just saying, like, where I am currently, it's like,
Right, but like even like it's the same way in the anime. Like all this stuff and then 5 minutes later, aliens.
yeah. So Ikuno's scene is kind of awkward because obviously, like, again, the way that moment is set up is like any other series that would not have done it, that would have been less tasteful, would have made her do some predatory things, right? But the idea is supposed to be like this has come to a emotional head of Ikuno is like, I can't support my partner because I don't want my partner. I want you. I've always wanted you. And,
See,
and like
funny?
everyone's kind of like having this emotional blow up. It's
Right.
just
Like Aquarium Solved figured out how to solve this problem.
Okay.
from day one. What if we had 3 pilots in a robot? Solves a whole lot of problems right there, right?
I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
but it's just like,
All you need is just one more chair in there for like someone to be the middleman.
yeah, it's just the scene is pretty much just it's meant to be, the confession is just they're both butt naked with one in a with the the lesbian in the point of power in the situation, which kind of comes off very awkward. Not that I would know, I'm not everything, but people who I have comments I've seen back in the day, it's
Me
like,
just slapping the content classification label on this podcast.
but it's like you get what I'm saying,
Don't
right?
mind me. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You get what I'm saying.
Should have done this for the Nikkei stream. Oops.
Oh, wait a second. It just sounds interesting.
Oops.
Okay.
Man, I'm fried. It's over.
So yeah, that's really good. And then the one problem with this segment of the story, and it's the same arguably the same problem I've had with the partner shuffle from the jump. I don't like saying this because it feels so wrong. I think Kokoro is probably the worst character in the entire squad.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I know Futoshi is bad, but we're talking like in both manga and anime, she's the worst character because she does nothing.
Correct.
Like, she literally says,
I know you think that's a controversial opinion.
I mean, it is because no one talks about her. No one kind of talks about her role in this whole situation. Which, again, to be fair, going to the anime, like, why on earth would I ever think of her in this situation when the other people are literally a clown, her new partner who has connections to the MC, and the lesbian? Like, why would I ever kind of think about her in this situation as a character who's written in the show? Like, every other character just matters, I think, or rather has a lot more presence than she does.
Like, it's kind of crazy to think about that. Like, at no point in all this massive drama are Hero, Goro, or Zero Two anywhere.
In the anime, yeah.
Like, they are just power trioing this entire show on their backs.
That's just kind of thing. It's like, but then again, I have an issue with how they were handled past episode 15 anyway. Like, they were just nothing characters either.
I mean, everyone had problems, yeah.
But it's like, if we're talking specifically about how Kokoro is handled in both the show and the manga, I think she's probably the worst one combined. Futoshi is probably the worst, but I feel like the manga does a decent job of at least being like, hey, he actually has elements to him, instead of just kind of like turning him into an NTR like meme. But like, I'm reading this moment where she unlocks her stampede mode, which is a like demon, like pterodactyl, and then comes to like light armor mode when she and Mitsuru like finally kind of connect together. So we get like two forms back to back. And it's like I did not feel a single thing for her. I'm just like, ain't
Wow.
no way they gave these two forms, and I don't care a single thing about their relationship.
Gosh.
And I think that's mostly because I just don't think the manga does a good job building that relationship. Or rather,
Yep.
but then again, the anime did a good job either. Like, I just don't think
No.
these. The whole thing is supposed to be that these two are supposed to be like the emotional core of how the back half of Franks goes.
Right.
Or at least how
Like,
the anime is supposed to do it. But that's for two reasons. One is because they basically finished Ichigo and all the Ichigo, Goro, Zero Two Hero stuff already. So they're the core going to the back half.
yep.
And two, like their
And it's
story
crazy
just
because
wasn't
you could
compelling.
just end the show right there, huh?
Yeah. It
You could just end with episode 15 and nobody complains.
yeah, it's like, or at least you take a break, write a season 2 worth of damn, and then you come back and we probably don't have a discussion about how Darren Franks is one of the worst like big anime fall offs from two studios.
Dude, Trigger is so lucky they pulled Gridman out of their ass and it's unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Like, holy cow.
Like Gridman's people still think Promera's good.
I will die on the hill that Dynazenon is better than Gridman even.
Like they are really lucky that Gridman ended up being the Gridman series just became their bread and butter.
Like
And
Super
people
Riot
still
said,
like Kill la Kill and Gorilla Gone.
like it is funny how like Super Riot just like, hey, we're gonna give you guys the license to one show, and we're gonna send one of our writers over there. All right, we're just gonna send our top men to bail you guys out.
If you F this up, I don't know. And they didn't.
Right?
Yeah. But yeah, it's just kind of this awkward thing that makes. But yeah, the whole point of the whole thing is supposed to be just I don't care about Kokoro as a character. She's just a nothing burger. A lot of
Mhm.
just a nothing burger, and I'm supposed to have this moment where she and Mitsuru finally kind of connect. She says I love you, and it's supposed to have this moment where it's like, oh, they're like Mitsuru's telling his backstory to her in the middle of a battle to while she's going to stampede mode. And then she says, you know what, you ain't useless. There's also this moment of like, you're not worthless, you're not useless, you're doing your best and like supposed to support him. And it's like, I feel for him, I just don't feel for her. And it feels so wrong to say. Like, she's just a really boring character.
Right.
And it's even worse because she actually says, I think she says a line, which I think was the moment I kind of also was like, okay. Um, let's see. Let me find it real quick. I'm trying to figure it out. Do, 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 do. Do, do. It's And it should be around here. I think it's like right. You trusting people so easily. Yeah, here we go. I can see you've been deeply hurt, and it's not something you recover from easily. But you know, I've also hurt Futoshi myself. Pairing up with you must have devastated him. Even so, I still want to pilot with you. It's not pity. I'm doing this because I love you.
Mm,
What?
the heck?
Like, I'm sorry, you haven't had that much. Like, you barely just started to talk to each other. In
Okay.
like literally it was last volume and this volume. And I guess that's why I saw other reviews recently talk about how it does feel like you need the original anime as a companion and use this as a companion piece to this manga,
Right.
because otherwise some of this just won't work. Because I'm just like, you have not had enough time to be like, I love you. Like you haven't had a backstory like Ichigo and Hiro and Goro. You don't have like that just genuine honest connection like Zorome and Miku. You don't have the now understood, because the way that the whole partnership runs out, Ikuno and Futoshi actually kind of like understand each other a lot more, and especially after having that emotional catharsis, they kind of like, okay, we got it, and they kind of like understand each other, and they're arguably working better. Like Futoshi out here piloting like he Amuro Ray. Meanwhile, y'all have nothing except that one time at the beach where Mitsuru saved you from a fall, and that's it. And then like they see each other in the garden 1-2 times, and that's all they had up to that point.
Man, don't you love like undeserved big monologues?
It's just
Like, okay.
it's like, damn girl, you actually just suck. Like I tried, but I was like it really is just like y'all did not have enough emotional payoff for this to work.
Oh,
And it's just like that's the one part of that entire segment that just doesn't work, is that
right.
conclusion. And it's even worse because at the end of volume 8, I've already kind of skimmed through it. They do the
Yeah.
the epilogue pictures and whatnot. I've seen some. Let me see. Um Let me see
I
what
already got bad feelings.
some. Yeah, they have the epilogue pictures, which is how the ending of the anime kind of goes, which is like Ikuno becomes a researcher, Goro goes off traveling the world. Yeah, it still ends with this. With it has everything else, and you've got Futoshi standing right in front of Kokoro. I mean, kind of sitting down in front of Kokoro and Mitsuru, and Kokoro was still pregnant.
Oh gosh.
And it's just like, I don't want this to be the Kokoro hate show, but it's like, damn, bro.
I'm not.
It's like they
I
really
feel like every episode's gonna turn to a hate show for something.
it just makes me sad because I'm like, dang, if they
It's
gave a
fine.
little more
We
time
laid
for
it out
Kokoro.
now, so the Ultraman part is a lot more positive.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh no. I want to believe, man. We can end one of these podcast episodes on a happy note. All right, I swear. I'll do it. I'll do the impossible. All right.
Yeah, I see it. On that note, that is all I've gotten so far into the Dorian Franks manga. I'll probably be done by next week before I head off to BCS.
You got this. You're gonna make it to day 2. You got it.
Only one day.
You're gonna make it to the second half. You
Oh, really? Okay. But yeah,
I
that
tried.
is basically it. Kind of that and kind of finalizing my deck list.
Hmm.
Yeah, that is basically all my week. So I think it's time we talk about the two details, the two card game references we got to talk about. So
Right.
first off, let me send you the link here. Let me send you the link so you can post it on your stream.
Oh,
We're
right.
gonna go
Right.
in succession, so keep that
Oh
in mind.
gosh, open this up on my stream. Shoot. All right. Doo-doo-doo-doo.
So give me just a second.
Making me open a web browser tab on stream. That thing I don't do. All right.
All right. Oh, hold on. Forgot to close the door. So, all right, you got it set up.
Doo-doo-doo-doo.
So
Oh,
let
all
us
right.
talk about first one, which is we've got news on Battle Spirits Saga. Important announcement regarding Battle Spirits Saga's future development. This was released early this morning, February 7th, 2025. Dear Summoners, thank you for your continued support of Battle Spirits Saga. We sincerely appreciate the passion and dedication you have shown to the game. It is with great regret we must inform you that Battle Spirits Saga, which launched in April 2023, will be concluding its official development and support as of March 2025. While we made every effort to expand the game through various promotional initiatives and tournaments, including the first ever cash prize supported events in Bandai card game history, current sales performance and market conditions have made continued operations unfeasible. After much deliberation, we have made the difficult decision to end Battle Spirits Saga's official development. We deeply apologize for not being able to meet the expectations of all summoners who have supported the game, as well as the stores and partners who have carried out our products. Final official event, Summoner's Legacy. Although Battle Spirits Saga's development will conclude in March 2025, we will be hosting one final official event, Summoner's Legacy, for a grand send-off. This event, on March 29th at the Pasadena Convention Center in Pasadena, California, will feature Battle Spirits Saga's first ever gunslinger format, allowing players to freely challenge one another throughout the event period. The more victories you achieve, the greater the rewards you receive. Players who receive 6 wins will earn a spot in the event's final tournament, where top-ranked competitors will be awarded exclusive prizes. We hope summoners will take the opportunity to gather, compete, and enjoy the game once more at this unforgettable event. And they've shown the rewards here. They're given a Altar Clavis, or Borsha, Smelta, Divas, Supersonic Lycurium Shadow, and Synthesia, and a Summer's Legacy Seagram card set, which has OG Seagram Nova, Meteor Emperor Seagram, and Absolute Ice Shield with a Seagram alt art, and then regional events, international availability, post-service support, and a heartfelt thank you. On behalf of the entire development team, we would like to express our deepest gratitude to all summoners, store owners, distributors, tournament organizers, and community members who have supported Battle Spirits Saga. Our goal is to make Summer's Legacy a truly special event to celebrate what we built together. We sincerely hope as many summoners as possible will join us for this celebration. Although Battle Spirits Saga will officially conclude this time, we hope you will continue to enjoy the game with friends and family for years to come. Thank you for being part of this journey. Battle Spirits Saga team.
Yep, it is. Well,
So, I think I have the right to go first here.
Huh?
I think I have the right to go first here talking about this one.
Yep.
This is devious work. Actually announcing this before the release of Gundam.
Yep.
Like I had a feeling it's like there's no way they can wait any much longer to finally just say, hey, we're done.
But this is some terrible timing.
But it very much is like, dang, y'all couldn't try like one more year or at least get 2 more sets out there before you say it's enough.
Right.
Like, I'll put it like this. It is very much obvious, like, yeah, no, this is going to happen. It makes, unfortunately, too much sense. The writing was so on the wall, on neon, you have to have been literally Stevie Wonder to not notice. This still doesn't make it probably the most stupidest run card game, the most terribly run card game in the past 3 years. Like,
You know, Dragon Ball's next.
I don't think Dragon Ball's next yet.
Masters, not Fusion World, just Masters.
Oh, Masters probably. But Fusion World is exactly doing too hot, you know?
Like, Fusion World has until the exact moment they announced the digital version of One Piece.
Mm-hmm.
Because once that hits, it's over.
Oh, that might
or Master Duel.
Yeah, right.
Hey, man, it could happen. I mean, you get falling off, man.
Listen, man, as long as they drop Sky Strikers, new Sky Striker stuff, Master Duel, they will be perfectly fine.
They already dropped the new Sky Striker stuff.
Yeah. But now they got branded. They just need to... Guess what happens? They drop a Diabell Star partner.
Zero won't let them do it.
Just wait. But yeah, no, for the past 2 years, just watching Battle Spirits Saga, it really saddens me how horribly ran this game was after set one.
Yeah.
And I get it takes a while to kind of fix things, but it really is like the fact that set 5 was not the set that you go balls to the wall out and try to effectively do a soft reboot of the game.
Like, I feel like Battle Spirits was never supposed to live, even in Japan.
Which doesn't make sense to me.
Like, it bombed when it came to the English to English the first time, right?
Yeah,
It damn near died in Japan.
but you know what? But you know
And
why it's
they're
still
just
around.
taking it and like they dragged it out the shed again for round 2 in English. And you got right back out.
Well, here's the real reason they thought they could use Bowser Saga as like this way to kind of test like competitive, a more competitive like circuit, which you can't do with a game which has lasted for a long time. Like I get it, it's been so long. You need to kind of find a way to kind of restart from scratch, right?
Right.
A Dirt Duel Masters reboot would also have to deal with this, this whole problem, right?
Yeah.
Assuming one would ever come. But again, the fact that Kodak won again.
At some point, we just have to acknowledge maybe Kodak's right. We have to fold.
Like, listen, like the more I kind of watch, right? Again, like we'll talk. Ooh, excuse me, I had to sneeze quickly. But like we'll talk about it during the next news story. But watching kind of a lot more of these game makers, content creators, kind of is like made me kind of like understand a lot more of why they think the way they think when it comes to
Yeah.
games, especially as the industry continues to grow. For how much longer that lasts, though.
I wouldn't call it growth. It's more like bubbling.
Oh yeah, no, I fully believe that this and the next this what happens to VCard and one more game will probably finally pop the TCG bubble.
Right. And like
Like we're
maybe
really
bubble's the wrong word. Maybe it's more like chum keeps getting thrown in the exact same size pool of water.
that's also a fair good thing. And then we get like misplaced. Right, it's like then the water keeps getting misplaced a little bit at a time.
Like things aren't exactly growing, but like you have the exact same pool of scalpers and whatnot, just like feasting on whatever comes, whoever enters the pool. And
Then
everyone's like, "Oh my god, the business is booming." It's like, no, the piranhas are just getting fatter. The pool has not grown.
yeah, then when you finally clear out the pool, it's like there's only so little water. So little water left because of
You put 10
displacement.
piranhas in, like maybe put 10 piranhas in, and you're expecting like 50 to come out, and then you like check the tank, it's like only 8 piranhas.
Yeah. But I think it's kind of funny. Like I say, I won't use this analogy yet, but like it is amazing how like you look at how all the other card games that have survived for more than 10 years have survived, and it's like
Mhm.
y'all have gone through worse. How the hell did y'all make it?
man.
But like, I'm gonna do.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Managed to survive official piracy. Let's think about that for a second.
So I'll do a video about this tomorrow. Try to get my own full like thoughts on that. But it really does frustrate me how they just fumbled. And again, set 5 should have been your soft reboot. You go hard, be like, hey, listen, we did all the cash prize thing, that didn't work out. Instead, we're gonna go crazy. We're gonna push more. We're gonna let people know the game's still good. The game's still around. We're gonna bring out new structure decks. We're gonna make said like absolute ice shields and everything. We're gonna reprint a lot of staples in set 5, or at least staples or something that was added in. Get people back into the game,
Right.
and regain trust. And the fact that they never did that.
I mean, ask Multiverses how well soft relaunches do.
No, here's the problem. Multiverse is AFK'd, bro. Multiverse is AFK'd for almost a year and came back like none was gonna happen.
Man, I wonder if John Chaotic is just watching things right now, going, "Man, I'm so glad I didn't relaunch."
Dude, Chaotic, the only game I know that is actually just like glad it's been delayed.
But man, we're gonna come back. I swear we're gonna come back. We're gonna keep coming back. So trust me, got a Chaotic too soon. We're gonna keep coming back. Nope, nope, nope.
But I think it was also kind of messed up is this Summoner's Legacy event. Ain't nobody going to that.
Right.
It's like ain't nobody going into California in the middle of wildfire season to play a dead game you mishandled poorly.
You're not buddy fight. You don't have the goodwill for this.
It's like what? Like I don't think even if Vanguard were to die today, I don't think people would go for a Vanguard event in
Oh hell
California.
no. Hell no.
Mostly because if Vanguard were to die today, something had to go horribly, horribly wrong.
Kidani finally gets arrested.
I think that'd be better for everybody. Let's be honest.
Oh hell yeah! But I don't doubt he's gonna take the ship out with him if he goes.
For legal reasons, this is a joke.
He's gonna hit the destroy Vanguard button if he gets ousted.
But it very
Just
much is.
wait and see.
But it very much is like it. It frustrates me, and I feel part of this is my fault because as a content creator, I didn't bring this up and kind of talk about the game more and try and push more about hey, you got something here. Don't just let it deteriorate.
Hmm.
But
Like it's rough.
it is. I will put it like this. I really don't know if Dragon Ball Super also goes down. I don't know. I feel like okay. Let me think about this. And it's awkward because on your screen I am currently actual Gundam character, but
Oh yeah. It's actually great for this discussion, isn't it?
yeah, I feel like I understand everyone completely who does not want to get into Gundam because of how Battle Spirits Saga was handled.
I fully agree. But like on the flip side, right? Like Battle Spirits Saga's biggest problem is that no one knows what Battle Spirits is.
But they
Like
problem
when you think Bandai card games, you think Man, I can't wait for Popular Thing to get a card game, and then we'll have fun with Popular Thing. What the hell is Battle Spirits?
Here's the problem. Also, it could have been something, which I think
No one
now.
has any ties no one has any, like, nostalgic ties to that one thing from, like, 2009 I know that died.
More, I mean, more so like we could have been like actually like promoting the game and like having like legitimately good, not just promotion, good promotion, promotion that mattered. Like, bro, like why'd you spend all this, give all this money to Avril Lavigne and the Game Grumps to promote your
You know what
game,
would've
but they
saved Battle
barely did
Spirits?
anything with it?
I don't know.
The fact that I saw people still today find out that Avril Lavigne did a Battle Spirits Saga ad. Like, what? That was the biggest thing. Was like Avril Lavigne
We
said,
we we weren't we talking about this earlier with Vanguard? It's like, "Wait, Popular Singer did something for Vanguard, huh?"
I mean, but very much is like, I think, I mean, it's just Bowser Saga came in right at the start of the, if you're not an IP with a card game, you are not long for this world.
Yep,
The
and
only
unlike
reason
Flesh
why,
and Blood, they don't have a bunch of Magic players saying this is the best thing since sliced bread.
I mean, the only reason I think Recross has not died in English yet is because they knew exactly what they were doing, which was we are not making money in this thing if we try and make some sort of like super push. We're just gonna stay low to the ground.
Also, benefit of, like, WeCross in, like, the US for I mean, like, English, it's ran it's been touched by Force of Wilco, and whatever they touch is allowed to just zombie mode. See, Gate Ruler refusing to die. Force of Wilco is actually a vampire company. They make vampires,
So that's all I
which is
really,
crazy to talk about.
that's all I got on Bowser Saga right now. What do you, anything you guys
Right.
say?
Like, I don't hate Battle Spirits. Like, I played a few games, right, online.
Mm-hmm.
Not Saga. Like, good old-fashioned Battle Spirits in Japan.
Yeah,
English cards,
because
right?
you're a weeb.
Well, I'm a weeb?
I mean, I'm also a weeb.
Oh,
But
shoot, man.
you've been, you're an
I
old
didn't know
weeb.
I didn't know I was a weeb the entire time, man. Huh? What? There's no way I'm a weeaboo. There's no weeaboos on this channel. Freaking weeaboos, get out of here. I'm kidding. Anyway. Like, like, the game is cool conceptually and everything, but, like, I feel like there's a lot more carrying it in Japan than there ever was in English. And it's almost like the same problem like Zen and Zard had, right? Yeah, I'm gonna bring back that old wound.
Oh.
When there's no secondary media to like boost something, it's way more fragile,
Oh
right?
yeah, without a doubt. I remember they were talking about something like they wanted to do a Battle Saga like anime or something. You know
Right, but
what?
like even the anime in like Japan for Battle Spirits is like you get maybe 3 episodes every like 2 years or something crazy, right? These
I
days.
think what also hurts is that, well, you also didn't make the anime accessible
Available?
here, yeah, in the West. Like if you at
I
least
mean,
like did like
there's no proper anime for Saga because like
um,
it's all over the place in terms of like eras. Like there's no like big. I mean, yeah, you have Seagworm, right? That's it.
I mean, at the very least, just put in the second series, right? Every like they Dan is like, or whoever it is that's the main character of the second generation
Right.
Battle Spirits. Like people
That
basically
show
think
is
that's the
awesome
first gen anyway.
ancient.
Yeah, but you know what? People still would watch it.
Right, but like it's like if in the middle if you had like no D or anime, right? and like Bushy out of nowhere just started releasing 2011 Vanguard in 2024
I mean, that's fair.
just because there's a Blaster Blade card instead too.
You know what? That is fair. That's a completely valid argument. But it's like, like the fact that they didn't
Like
have
it's
that
one
plan
thing,
for a
but
series known for an anime, right? But
right,
that also is like the problem with how they handled Saga, which was, they wanted to be the adults, quote unquote, game, right? The serious one, which is like, you
right.
can't have this be the serious one. None of
And
these
like the
games are the
problem with
serious one.
the problem with the serious card game is like you're catering to an audience of children and man children. We don't want serious stuff. Outright.
Yeah, it's like your best game is a game which the main character is a gosh dang gummy bear, basically.
Right.
Like, and
Like even Magic grew out of its edgy serious 90s phase.
no matter how hard people want that to go back.
It's never not getting it back. I'm glad it's gone. Magic old heads deserve it. Just like Spider-Man fans deserve Paul R. I'm just gonna keep that take there.
Or,
There's my one hot take for the week. Spider-Man fans deserved Paul.
well, on the topic of hot takes, let's move on into our second topic, which is the
I'm not
VCard
looking at what's on the
TCG.
screen, so
Yeah, so I'm moving up. The VCard TCG dropped last week. And people are calling it, as of right now, the worst card game launch in modern TCG industry history.
yep.
Like, the fact that the rules of the game weren't even accessible until the day of launch.
I'm gonna open the main website for VCar for an example. It's just gonna be boobs and boobs and boobs and boobs and boobs all over my screen for a little bit.
Like, I'll say right now, I watched the 2 Speed Robo videos he did on this game. And I was
Right.
like, and he pointed out things that I'm like, damn, this is worse than I thought. Holy hell.
It is really bad.
And then they wanted to add in the whole anti-card thing.
Right. Can I find yeah, no. All right. I found the one tiny part of the website where that isn't just Shy Lily and Cinder's boobs on the screen. Which I'm gonna say is probably gonna be the other biggest problem in this card game that no one wants to talk about.
How horny it is.
Yep.
I mean, the game is literally called VCard.
Right, but
Like, the joke
like
wrote itself. And
like
everybody is now,
I'm just not
and everybody with their salt in the industry is kind of like, this joke sucks.
right, and like I don't want to sound like that one obnoxious prude in the room because I'm not, but like when I also think about a card game, I also think about playing it and having a space to play it,
I mean, again,
and like from the jump, unless you're talking like what store's gonna like in the assumption that like gamer sub somehow gets to an LGS, right? What card shop's gonna just have like play V card?
like, not money. Like, they'll probably like, yeah, you can play it, but you're not
We're
getting,
not carrying it. You better not bring that mat out. Change those sleeves. Yada yada yada.
yeah. So here's the thing. Like, I know it's kind of ironic, it's kind of like hypocritical, or feels hypocritical, considering I just did a whole 30-minute breakdown of a manga in which which was made by the To
Right.
Love Ru author, in which
Like,
in the middle of a fight with
it is
robots,
hypocritical
I'm
for both of
seeing
us.
teenage girls' titties. I it's kind of like
Uh,
hypocritical in that context, right?
right.
But you know
And I
what?
hate it too.
But you know what? I can. But you know what? That's still a TV show that was on TV. That was still at the very least. Like I can. I
Right.
read. I'm talking about manga I read in my home, not out in the public, not where kids can read it. My home,
Right.
and I'm not. I didn't even like really. Like I pointed out one not safe for work detail, and that was because it was in a scene that that framed the way things were framed. Right, there was context to
Right.
the entire thing. Like Vanguard still to this day gets people talking about, isn't this the game with the swimsuit rarity?
Right. And like,
Like we still can't live that down.
no. And it's like, I get it, right? I completely get it entirely. The VTuber space is an adult space.
Most of the time, yes.
Yeah, I'm not saying it isn't at all.
Like these
I'm
are,
also saying, like, there's knowing your market, and then there's knowing your medium, and like trying to find like some like confluence.
mm-hmm,
Like we're just I don't know. I get it. There's someone somewhere. There's a market for the horny card game, right?
yeah. I mean,
All
I,
cool.
I don't want to keep bringing it up, but it kind of does make sense considering Cinder and Shy Lily are right here, but they do also stream it. But like at times it was like, yeah, no, like Nikkei is a 12 plus game. It's only really 12 plus because marketing, for one
Right.
real reason. One is marketing, and two is because for some reason just uh the app stores just kind of,
Mm-hmm.
right. It's like there's specific marketing mechanics they do. Like they have alternate like censored designs of characters,
Right.
right? Like Red Hood's whole thing is that her titties are basically flopping out of her leather crop top or something. I forget what it was. Not leather crop top, like kind of like a leather jacket that's like more like kind of like a, kind of like Daisy Dukes, kind of like a leather Daisy Dukes kind of thing. But they have an altered version of her, which is the whole thing zipped up perfectly fine, but that's used for marketing for anywhere that is in like
Yep.
that is like in public, right? They have multiple versions of that. That's why like the Nikkei artworks in Union Arena were censored the way they were, and why their alt arts were more tasteful and you know they're like super hybrid, were tasteful and like beautiful like dresses and whatnot, kind of show in suits and whatnot, kind of showing like there's a there is a proper way you can do this without just being degenerate.
Right.
Obviously, Weiss on the other hand is like, yeah, no, we know what we are.
Yep.
But even they don't go that far, right? They have cool
We
artwork of
know
Scarlet. They've got
art.
a
We have
beautiful artwork of
art.
Dorothy. But they also got Anissa's titties right there in front of our alt art. But you have to get the alt art. You have to
You know,
pay for the extra degeneracy.
I'm convinced at this point that Anissa does not actually have a default skin anymore. Am I wrong?
She does, yes.
Does she really
I
at this
didn't.
point, as far as fan consciousness goes?
No, like
Yep.
her first figure is her summer version.
Uh-huh. Summer all the time.
Like even Red Hood, who is the most popular character in the entire game, still got her original outfit. No, wait, Anise does have a original design, but no one cares about that. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no one cares.
But the point stands is that Anise's, you have to go out of your way for the more degenerate stuff.
Right.
Whereas VCard, that is up front and center. That is the draw of the game.
Right. I really cannot pull up a card list
Like,
without like doing like
that.
5
Look
levels
at that.
of digging.
That's a binder. That's the binder.
Yep.
Those are official binders of this game. It is degenerate. But it's the point we're trying to make here is that so we don't just keep going on this whole like, oh my
Yeah, like,
god,
this
their
is like the
titties,
least of
the
the game's
breasts are
problems.
out.
I'm not
Oh
even
my
gonna
god,
lie.
she's showing her coochie. Like, no, calm down. The point we're trying to
Yeah,
make
like,
is as a
this is not even the
respectable.
first.
If you
This
want to
isn't
be
the
a
main problem.
respectable card game in the market, it's hard to do that while having ain't no way.
I cannot find the card list to save my life.
I mean, I think you have to actually go to the VCard site, right?
I hate it when you like look up VCard, the first thing is like the order page.
I mean,
Like that's the other problem, right? Like you can't even get information on the game itself
yep.
without having to like dig.
It's like, again, watching the speedrun video says it best. If I can't Google if your name is hard to Google for your game, it's not good.
Right, there we go. And like right in front of him, the exact same Shiloh.
Yeah, but like, here it is, available now. Card gallery right up there.
There we go. And like I'm gonna show off my biggest problem with this game right now. All right. And it's right over here. Because there's a big problem with V card, right? Like the biggest one in set one. You see all these cards right here? All 8 of these in each color? These all do the exact same thing in each color.
We actually post this here to
They
kind of.
they have yeah, let me see. Yep.
I had to put in.
You lost the last round, gain +1 power. If you lost the last round, gain +1 power.
Oh, it's Mark. Doki's true
Like
form.
so many of these cards are just duplicates of each other across multiple colors. There's one fit to the actual card pool, realistically.
Yeah. It's like it really does kind of look like the actual like there's not like defined archetypes in
There's nothing.
in the game. It's more so just there's like one or two cards that are just like obviously like just general cards, and then the
You know
rest
the
are
actual there were 2 cards that actually do something in this game, all right? Of any note. All right? 2.
Mhm.
Cyanide Chan, your opponent discards 2 cards. Wow. And I'm gonna get demonetized. I'm gonna get demonetized. I'm gonna get demonetized.
Happiness Chan.
Happiness Chan. Draw 2 cards.
Yeah.
These are the only 2 cards that actually do anything in this game, realistically. And then there's this piece of garbage.
Expose.
And that is so emblematic of the
Our
problems with V I have.
-3 power level to any Shy Lily card. What?
There are only 3 Shy Lily cards in the game, and it's the only hate card in the game. I kid you not. There was a card that only has 3 targets.
And it's the card that works
It's
for
based
the
around their main mascot for the game.
and the designer, apparently.
Yep. And
Yeah.
let's not even get started on like how the rares and ultra rares are vanillas. All of them.
Oh yeah, that's another thing too. It's like the actual like level 10s are all
Level
just
9s,
big
but better.
level with just beat stick powers, and they just don't do anything.
Yeah, the level 9s are also all beat sticks. So
So
why are you playing one beat stick over another beat stick?
yeah, when you could just use heck, you could just play the level 8 and just have a skill.
That only shifts the power by 1 anyway, so you're still they're just level 9s.
It
So why
really
do
is
the
just
level
like,
8 or
damn.
9s exist when then the game is just a base 10? Rarity. Power and rarity are directly tied.
It really is like, damn. Who designed this? It really is like, y'all.
Yep. And it only gets worse from here. Because now you have all these mascot cards that are the exact same.
The exact same. They don't do anything for their archetypes. Don't do anything that brings
Plus
flavor.
plus one a generic plus one, plus two if it's the element. Plus three is the exact very specific VTuber. And they just cloned this card
For
40
everyone.
times. Yep. 40, 40, 40, 40.
With
In a 200 card set. 160 cards are all clones.
which means the only real things you want are the ultra rares, and the high rarity cards.
So if you run the numbers, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least accounting just, uh mascots and then like variations of card effects. There's maybe 10 cards here. 9, maybe 10 cards plus the supports. Oh wait, 10 of the supports are duplicates of each other. All right, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14,
Also,
15,
just
16,
the
17, 18,
literal, just like, yeah, we're
21
just gonna
cards.
reuse. 10 cards are literally just the exact same art, but with the elements.
200 plus card set and 21, and there's only 21 actual cards. What?
It really is
This is
like,
a
if you
sin
aren't,
in card games.
which is like, if you aren't running, and just from the way the rules were worded, if you aren't running happiness and cyanide, your deck is
Right.
bad. Like, those
If
are
you have the misfortune of pulling the harpoon,
like,
like this is actual trash.
this is a sideboard card. Game that doesn't have a sideboard.
You're only sideboarding this against someone who's wearing Shiloh merch all over them. And even that could just be a mental trick. And if I wear all the Shiloh stuff, they're going to side in the harpoon, and I want to switch to a Cinder deck. Yeah.
Man, listen, I want to say I was right about the VTubers, but
Man, do not. Do not.
I'm joking,
Don't.
because this is more than just a whole me and my VTuber disdain, which has gone down a lot over the years. But
Right. Like, why is her waifu moist critical card?
oh, because he is a person who supported the game. Like, you can actually go and look at the Meet the Stars, and it'll show
Yeah,
you people who have actually like supported the game or have actually used their likeness in the game.
right. I'm never picking up a single card.
Like,
I'm not entering the tech zone beef, but I'm not buying a single card out of like
yeah, like,
principle.
you've already lost me when you added Tectone's bitch ass into this game,
Right, like get the hell out of here.
and then you just got Coefficient as being the White Knight. And I'm just like, dog.
No, this
I'm
like
sorry. Listen, I like Coefficient only
right.
because he was the entire reason I started wanting to play fighting games. He was one of the people who I learned Blaze Blue from. I
My
do
code's
not
cool.
care how much respect I have for him. I'm not buying a card with him on it as a White Knight for someone who's not even his actual VTuber fiance.
Like
Like,
what?
you could at least put his actual fiance behind him and it would have been much more understandable. That is literally a random harlot.
Yeah. And like,
Oh, no, wait, never mind. I forgot that actually is his fiance on the shield,
oh my gosh.
which now makes it worse.
You know, yeah.
Which,
And like it gets it even and like the White Knight card is like echoes another problem with this game I didn't even like get to talk about. They're doing Forbidden Memories element system. For one thing, immediately hard cancels the other.
oh my god, I didn't even notice that.
Like, let me see if I can see it. So your mascot cards, right? You know, those things that all do the exact same thing.
Oh yeah.
If your opponent plays one of the winning element, your mascot gets immediately negated and destroyed.
It, oh wow,
Uh
that's
huh.
worse. I thought it was like, oh, they lose like some power. Everything. No, it's just
No,
straight
no,
up.
your VTuber loses
You
power
just
if they're losing. No, wait, the other VTuber gains 2 power. If you're winning, you gain 2 power. The mascots immediately kill each other.
that's just wow. Okay.
Uh, yep.
So
It is a broken
we
game
haven't
on
even
all
talked about
levels.
the anti rule, which they had to option,
The anti rule is somehow the least important part.
but it was the part that made everyone notice. It's like, wait, what the hell's going on here?
Like the anti rule just like made people go what? But like the more you read, the more you realize the anti rule is like the least broken part of this game.
Like, no, it's the least broken part, but it's the moment that you go. It's the moment when you read all the other rules and then read the original way the anti rule worked, which was
Right.
mandatory, and go, holy
Uh-huh.
shit, this might be a scam.
Yep.
These rules suck. Nothing about this game works at all. And then
So
the anti rule is the cherry on top of the dumpster fire Sunday.
where if you somehow decipher all of this, it'll take you a cards with me, you pathetic weeaboo. Say hi to your waifu pillow after I've taken your $200 Shy Lily cards.
You're gonna have the Shy Lily card hunters coming out.
I'm after all your precious Shy Lilies. Give it to me.
Like, they'll play game
Oh,
one and play normally, but when they finally play Shy Lily, which
right. It's on. All right, I need to take a quick 1 minute break. I'll be right back.
okay.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
You
Oh man, I'm
like
I'm so ready for this. I really do want to do that. I really do need to message ZRG like, hey, listen, I am perfectly good with the good with doing a Daybreak 2 spoiler cast, because every um video I'm seeing of, because the reviews are coming out now.
Oh,
I've
alright.
seen stuff from I was not expecting this to not what I expected to someone literally saying Trails of Daybreak 2 is a rare miss.
Oh no.
And I'm just like, oh yeah, I gotta. When I come
Right.
back, I'm burning through that game and we doing that spoiler cast.
Right. Oh my gosh, I just noticed there's an errat there's like a bunch of erratas in the Q&A.
Hold on.
Well, like mostly two.
I mean, I saw as like, oh Lord.
Right, and like let's talk with like the anti system is crazy, right? Like even Magic's anti system, peak of controversy, right?
Mm-hmm.
UNT, one card at a time. One. VCard said, nah, every single card you play this round, gone.
Like, I think the biggest crazy thing is that the fact that they said that, yeah, this is that they had this as the initial ruling.
Right.
It's like this was on release your idea, and it's like, what are you doing, Chief?
Right.
What are you doing? What?
God. For a game that already has a super limited print run and is being scalped like crazy, you want the actual few people playing this game as a game to just lose their cards. Excuse me?
It's like I'll just say it like here, before we get to it. Is VCard a scam? No. Does looking at this,
Wait, I'm gonna say
go
no.
do all
Hold
this
on.
detail, not make it look like one though?
I mean, here I wouldn't say it's not a scam yet, right?
No, it's not a scam yet. But you can't do
I'm gonna
this.
get up to the unlimited run. Hold on.
Hmm.
The unlimited run makes it feel pretty scammy.
Oh yeah, no, the limited run is kind of awkward, especially since there was details about, oh, there's actually some VTubers who just were in the first edition.
That and all the drop rates are better. The unlimited run has better pull rates than the first edition.
Which, makes sense because they added more VTubers. But also,
But like
why?
you are anyone pulling and trying to collect things who got in on the first edition is actually getting screwed.
Not only that, first edition has like what, old cards that were just
Yeah, a bunch
test
of old cards.
cards, and
Yep.
it's like, why are they in your first edition set? Did no one actually do real legitimate like quality
There
control?
was a card game called We Didn't Playtest This at All, and I'm 95% certain it is way more functional than this mess.
Wait, is that actually a card game name?
Not TCG, but it's a board game. Yeah, board game, card game, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, we didn't playtest this at all,
Oh wow.
right?
So, the long and short of it is VCard had a very, very janky launch. It's literally being reworked as we speak.
Making things slightly.
And today, they've also announced a
A roadmap.
roadmap
Can I get to the roadmap from the website?
I mean, I've pulled it up here and I've given you the link,
Right.
but you want to see if you can actually like access it.
From the website, yeah.
Yeah, good luck.
I cannot. There is no news on. There's no way to access news on their website.
Oh boy.
It's,
Well
oh
then.
no.
Well, I got pulled up here, so if you want to pull that up here and you can take care of that.
You know, I'll just play the animated trailer in the background. While we just about it.
All right. So, VCard Future Roadmap. This was posted on their Twitter. Our ultimate goal for the future of VCard is to elevate the gameplay experience by expanding card types and enriching every facet of the game, ensuring deeper strategy, greater variety, and an immersive journey for every type of player. So this is their current roadmap. Base set launch with casual gameplay. This is where we are right now. Their next thing on their actual set is major gameplay update, changes to reflect in unlimited set.
Which oh no.
We'll get to that in a second. Let's go through the whole thing first. So then we have set 2, set 3, and set 4. These exciting sets will introduce brand new elements, fresher dynamic card types, gameplay mechanics, a growing roster of talented VTubers / creators.
Zechs.
And the last pip, building towards our competitive game with tournament and event support. Above all, we are committed to ensuring the game's longevity and delivering the absolute best experience possible. We will continue to listen, adapt, and evolve, always valuing our community's voices and never overlooking your concerns. Your passion drives us, and together we'll shape an even greater future. Additional promo drops may occur in between sets. All right, go ahead.
Oh wow!
You
They
get
have the big short special at the end there.
All right, go ahead. I got my stuff off. You get your rant off.
All right. God, this roadmap is so bad. Like fundamentally, right? Like I'm gonna start in order, I guess. Major gameplay update. Changes to reflect in a limited set. Every single person that purchased first edition is getting hoed. I say that in no uncertain terms. You were getting screwed if you purchase the initial set, right? Your cards are junk. They are unplayable. They will be worth nothing in the future. There is no appreciation for them. Worthless. All right.
Like, okay, let me interject here real quick. Like, the fact that your second pip is major gameplay update, which is insane because it implies and then you have the base set logic casual gameplay. It implies that the rules on your website are not the real rules of your game.
Right?
It implies, like, it says the rules on the website are a genjutsu. This is the casual mode. Then why didn't you tell me what the real gameplay is?
It gets worse the more you think about it, right?
Like, because it basically just says, oh, so you actually didn't have rules for this game.
Right. And you know, if it says change to be reflected in unlimited set, are those cards going to look different? Are all the cards in the first edition visually and functionally distinct and illegal from this point?
If it does, then we might have to call this game a scam. Because there's no way you launch set 1 and its first wave is literally illegal before you even get to set 2. You can't do that with a card game. You can't do that.
There were already cards in set 1 that mentioned the prize pool. It's already bad.
Not only that, because we don't know when set 2 drops. We could say about like another 3 months, right? But it's
Like, it
like,
also means they were still working on this game on set 1. They were still working on set 1 when they released set 1.
yeah, it means the game wasn't done. But they had already, but they were like, we want to get into this industry, this whole thing now.
And they already sold over 25,000 boxes of a game that wasn't finished.
A game that wasn't finished, and potentially
And with
cards
cards that
that
might
could
be
be
illegal.
actually illegal for actual gameplay.
Yep. And we're only at the first pip here, and we're already seeing potentially a complete crash out of epic proportions never before seen in a card game. Like, this is gonna be more momentous for me than Kidani's Frame 1 lawsuit. And that was the Daigo Perry of card games. We've already witnessed that, right?
Yes.
This is somehow worse. Like, the only thing that comes worse was when Gabriel changed the size of the cards slightly. Because that was a whole fiasco.
I don't remember that one at all.
It happened for like one set, like, because he changed printers. And like the printers, like, for some reason, like by a few, like it was slightly smaller. It doesn't matter when they're in sleeves, but like, you know, kind of matters still.
Yeah. But
And then like we have like the set 2, 3, and 4 block where
all right,
like
talk about it.
brand new elements. So with each set, you're going to be radically changing the game immediately, right? Off the jump. You've already announced it pretty much. Like, you're just going to get a complexity jump every single set.
Which is already an issue because one, the current rules basically say that basically means that new elements just could power creep the old elements.
Immediately.
And two, because there are no current competitive rules,
Right?
we have no idea how the current elements actually work.
No.
So you're adding elements to a game where we don't even know how the elements work yet.
Nope.
Literally, they literally said it. We don't know. They're reworking they're basically reflecting the gameplay update for a game that wasn't done. And then saying, oh yeah, the sets after that are now going to also add in stuff to a thing you don't know how it works, even though set one's already out.
Cards. I just want to know who designed the cards. Just get me on the phone with the card designer. I just want to have a talk. I just want to have one conversation.
Like, listen, I know people don't like Kodak. I know I personally have beef with Speed Robo. I would
Zechs, we have to find the VCard designer in 2 weeks and get him on this podcast.
That's your job. I'm not doing that.
We're gonna have a talk.
You find them. If you can get Shy Lily for an interview, I'm good.
If that happens, I'm gonna feel like a god for the next like year.
But I don't know how that's gonna work with, you know, you're basically going like
gonna be our craziest episode yet if that happens.
But yeah, you have it's just insane. So we got on the first one and we already were just like, okay.
No, I'm done.
All right, fresh and dynamic card types. Huh?
With this gameplay as it is right now, you fresh and dynamic. What do you mean dynamic? Are we gonna get people complaining about getting Ash Blossomed in VCard?
Not only that, you already have 4 mechanical game pieces. What, 5? You're adding more card types?
I mean, can we call it 5 when like 2/3 of them are like 2/5 of them are vanillas?
I mean, they still exist. Do you mean
Like here,
so?
here's
The
the
question is, do they mean are we going to like? In, I mean, again, major gameplay update implies those cards might not even be vanillas.
here's the craziest part, right? Like, let's say even in the lightest sense, right?
Uh huh.
If there was a single level 9 with any card text on it, a third of the units in base set are immediately invalidated. Literally. If you print it's like imagine it's like Vanguard, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like all of a sudden there's a grade 3 that said counterblast 1 gain 1,000 power. It power creeps the entire game. Anything you do is introducing mechanical chaser to this game.
All right.
Like what?
Gameplay mechanics. What do you mean gameplay? You're introducing gameplay mechanics.
Are you saying there are no gameplay mechanics in set 1?
According to this, no, there aren't.
Okay. There is no game.
There already is no game. You're telling me the game going to change before we even get to set 2?
You paid $100 a box for baseball cards? You pre-order baseball cards.
My copies of Coefficient are useless? That's crazy.
Man, that's not even a baseball card. That's a stat sheet, man.
You mean tell me I pulled a Tectone SP and this shit is useless? I can't even sell that shit.
Man, your Tectone is toilet paper, just like his takes. Yeah.
And then finally, a growing roster of talented VTuber / creators. I don't know about that no more.
All the missing members of the Cabal that were not currently in set 1 will be getting cards.
Like who? Like who is? Let's be honest here. Who is left?
We're getting a Shoujo set for one of these.
Like, I mean, obviously, yeah. I mean, you Monarch's in the game.
Right.
Monarch, quote unquote, Monarch's in the game. Now she's back to Amelie.
I mean, well,
so they have to put in her
design before she joined.
So we have to put her new form in. So
right.
And every VTuber's been getting like updates. So I expect like a new version of Cinder. Probably another.
Shylil is probably going to be the Luffy of this game, and there's going to be at least one of them in every set.
Yep, more Shylilies, which makes that card this card from set 1, Harpoon, become even stronger.
Gets a lot more valuable with every passing set, if you think about it.
Yep. Assuming it stays the same.
Right. Well, power level just means nothing after this. We don't know.
Yeah. It's like they never reprinted, so you have to keep buying set 1 forever.
It's gamer sub, so there's not going to be any set 1 after the quote unquote unlimited run. By unlimited, I mean another 25,000 boxes, and that's it.
You mean unlimited until it's time for set 2 to be set 3 to be printed, and we're cutting it off.
It's gamer subs. It's FOMO hour. All they do is FOMO. You got to push out these card games. We're gonna put in our next drop of a gamer girl energy drink.
And let me tell you right now, I don't think Nova's making set 3.
No, oh gosh, Nova got blacklisted after this stream.
Nope. Maybe the Glitch Star girls.
Maybe.
Like I could see Leah or Maribel in it, but like,
I mean, probably sucks VTuber agency for sure.
Yeah, but it's like, no, I'm pretty sure Nova's not in it. You're not in it. I guarantee you ain't going.
Man, I'm gonna get into V Royale. Screw this.
You
I'm
the
getting into
you
the other VTuber card game.
like
You're
this.
buying my cards.
I could definitely see
Oh god.
Sayu
Oh
probably.
god.
I
I'm
don't
gonna
know.
be the flip it or rip
I
it,
don't
aren't
know
I?
how. I don't
Oh
know how.
no.
I wonder how like it's gonna work for like say VTubers are also like voice actors who are connected to the strike. Like, how does that work?
Look, Sayu's getting his cards, alright?
But I'm just like, you know,
Like,
like
you
I
know what the worst part about these hypothetical card games are, right? For VTubers?
what?
Imagine being the flip it or rip it common. Like, imagine being the common card that just gets tossed in the shredder.
Yeah.
And you gotta live with that one.
Like imagine you're the Mythos. Remember Mythos who becomes the vanilla,
Right?
and it's like, oh well, we don't need you.
Man, what do you mean on pack filler, man? I got a life.
Like I hate that. Part of me hates me finding Roy Kioto because of him, because of Power Rangers. Because now I know more VTuber agencies than I should have any reason to.
He's,
I know about
I mean,
I know about
at some point they will start blending together.
I know about Mythos. I know about Invicta. I know about these Shoujo mothers, Niji Sanji. I already had beef with Hololive.
Man, what the hell did I do to you?
They're the entire
Guys get
reason
cards.
I hate VTubers to begin with, buddy. You didn't realize that?
Really?
Yes. Maury Calliope is my sworn nemesis. I don't care if she
Look,
Texan.
dude, I got in the VTuber with Maury Calliope.
I'm so sorry.
I am too. Man. Look, at least Rosemi is still around. Rosemi's also, you gotta look forward to the Dualox Zone VTubing group coming eventually.
Isn't
That'll be
that
neat.
that's just Glitch Stars, isn't it?
Oh shoot, it is. I forgot he actually started it already.
Yeah, that's Leah and them, bro.
No, I keep confusing that with like Frederick Knudson's group.
Who?
Atop the fourth wall.
No.
He makes those like really long retrospectives, like on like Eve Online and whatnot.
No, I've never heard of this person.
Oh well, like yeah,
Listen,
some other dude. Yeah, like the space is wide.
I only know four people technically from that channel Awesome Days. Linkara, Nostalgia Critic, Lindsay Ellis, and Angry Joe.
Like you wake up one day and then like, all of a sudden Flork of Crows is like, I'm gonna start my own VTuber group with blackjack and hookers, and then he actually does it. Like everyone's getting in on it.
Okay. All right. So
It's,
the point is, I don't know how many. Assuming this game doesn't crash and burn by set 4, I don't know
it's not
how
gonna
many.
make this at 1.5.
Like, I don't know how many like VTubers you can like add in new without just having to redo people.
I mean, ideally at some point there'll be like, I don't know, maybe like a raffle or whatever to get in the game for like smaller VTubers, hopefully.
Oh God, no! That sounds terrible. What? No. Ew.
Like even for like as a support card, right? Like something so like some unknowns can just make an appearance.
I don't know if I like that. That feels kind of disgusting. I mean,
I mean,
obviously
it
it
makes
depends
the
on
exact
how
same
the
all
actual like
popular.
you
I mean,
know
it depends on what's done, right?
mm-hmm. Yeah,
But like
how
it
the
beats the same cabal of popular VTubers that are all over the place, constantly getting stuff, and like there's no room for like the smaller rung, right? There's gotta be something for them.
I mean, yeah. So let's talk about the last rung.
Yep.
Building towards our competitive game with tournament and event support. What? Your
After
competitive
set
game?
4, like it's not even the competitive part. See, you're gonna wait until after set 4 to finally start building a scene.
Like
4.
even
1, 2, 3, 4.
even Bushy Road in the era of Luck and Logic and Dragonborn still had tournaments for their game,
Right.
even if
Set
it did
1.
flop horribly.
Right.
What do you mean, Spice? Because
Like event support for a game you can only order on the GamerSubs website?
yeah, event support for a game you can only barely order, which will change in 2 months.
Right.
Not only that, it's like
Also a pre-order send next week.
listen, I need to watch the Nova stream. I don't know if I can deal with it.
She stopped playing VCard and started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I mean Digimon. They switched over to Digimon.
Oh Lord. Okay.
Also, Nova, if you ever find us, hi. I would totally love to be on your stream at some point. Please say hi. Thank you. I'm a fellow VTuber. Hi. I'm just shooting my shot.
You shooting your shot.
I just want a cameo, man.
Okay. Listen,
And
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
I know the phrasing. Yep.
It's just funny. I'm just playing with you on that. I'm like, damn. My man said, I'm gonna shoot like steps. Let's go.
A Kurama screen time, please. A Kurama of relevance.
All right. But yeah, I don't know what's wrong. Like, they were not ready. This was not a game that was designed to be an actual like card game, like how the industry perceives card games. Because there's no way
And
you
I'm
wait
pretty
a
sure
whole.
has a better TCG.
Right. Keep in mind, by the time if we go by the whole like 2-3 months, it will be almost a year before you finally start putting in a competitive tournament scene.
Also, there's no timeline on these sets at all.
Yep. Like this is literally it. Like for people who are seeing who are like listening, this is it. This is all they got. There's just one
Yep.
image, of the roadmap, and that's all the pips I said. Everything I said is what is on the roadmap.
You know what the funniest part is about all of this?
What is it?
The learn the play page went up after people got their cards.
Yeah, no, I said it came out. It went up the day of
Yeah.
of
No,
quote
no
unquote
tutorial or
release.
anything. No showing off the cards. No like rules or
Like
people playing it.
not only that, some people point out so there's no like starter decks.
That too, yeah.
To kind of
You have to gamba.
you have to gamma and then find a way to learn how to build on your own.
Uh-huh.
Like, let me see. I saw the VCard Reddit. Let me see if they got something here. Uh, let's see what they said about the roadmap. Let's see. Okay, thanks to the roadmap. At least they're trying for the longevity of VCard. That's all I can ask for, and I hope they succeed.
And anyone that thinks this game is gonna do well is delusional.
All right, I'll let my faith be restored by this. I was just going to collect, probably buy the cards I still need for a full set and leave it at that. But yeah, I'm going to keep a closer eye on VCard now. That being said, one concern, it says change the gameplay, which card major will be reflected in limited. So since I brought first edition, does that mean my cards just won't be legal for play?
God, I haven't had this much copium since Gundam Evolution.
Crazy to me that they're going to release 4 sets before they build a competitive tournament with support. They need to flesh the game out more, renew mechanics, and give people faith that they're going to continue supporting it first. A real competitive scene would convince that. Coming from OP and Lorcana, we had huge tournaments with 1 set in. Let's see. Hopefully the UR singles aren't that expensive. I want my Shy Lily cards. Should be no more than 10-15 USD per. People are averaging like 4 or 5 URs for box from what I've seen. I'm probably one of the higher spenders myself, having bought 5 boxes, and that's still
Oh
on
no.
average going to leave me missing half the URs. Could be looking at 200 plus to finish the collection.
Oh no. If you bought more than 1 box of this game,
Let's see.
God, what are you doing?
As long as it keeps that FOMO style of selling, this will always fail. I don't care how they dress this up.
You
Yeah, things with FOMO never succeed. Like Genshin Impact, which is almost entirely FOMO, one of the lowest earning games of all time. Oh god.
Alright, that's funny.
I don't that's funny. I But it's
They
like
have to
that's
be
not the
ironic
hill to
about
die. That's not the hill to die on, dog.
maybe they're being ironic about that last part.
Hold on. There's a thing. There is hope for the game, a post. Posting this as Shiley is talking about making the game better during her stream. She literally spent days studying up major card games like MTG and Yu-Gi-Oh! On how to make the game better. There is hope, give it time, so we'll clip it later or something. What?
So they're really making it sound like that first set is ooh.
Yeah,
She's pulling a Kidani and studying the ways of Magic the Gathering to improve the game, quote unquote.
like, hold on. That someone posted there. Yeah, pretty much anyone in the current set or gamer subs didn't know anything about TCGs. They just made cards and threw them out, and now they're running around after the backlash. That's the thing with success. Many IP startup are usually with one set thing or an aim, but now it's successful, they need to update and change. Like Shiley said, it would be a big missed opportunity to not take feedback and make the game even more and better for the community.
But let's stop reading Reddit comments. That one already just
Yeah, no,
I'm
that
done.
was the final straw. I'm sorry. Listen.
Yeah, that
No.
is the
No.
no.
You're out your mind. Listen, I completely
You have
get
never touched a trading card game in your life.
like I get it. You want to be
I am
you
I am
want your
sorry,
Oshi
random
to
Redditor. You are the most wrong person I've met.
I'm sorry. No, you no. No.
No,
Like, I'm trying to find the words and all they're saying is no. But
I'm saying that the nicest way I can say it is you are so wrong. You need to leave the conversation. The adults are speaking.
It's like, I'm sorry, you don't release a card game with no rules. The rules you do have are ass. A literal scam anti-system that was, at the time at its first release, and again, we have video proof with Speed Robo, truly mandatory. And then you put in an update saying we're then going to majorly change the gameplay update in the unlimited set, which releases in 2 months. Not just 2 to 3 months. With no idea how you're going to change this. Not only that, it implies that the base set will also probably, depending on how hard you change it, will be unplayable garbage and just collector bits. And then you're going to add more stuff on an already shaky foundation. And you're going to tell me it's okay because Shy Lily spent a week researching Magic the Gathering. No offense to Shy Lily, but you could not think you. If you didn't do the research before and you come in now, what the fuck do you mean I'm supposed to trust you?
Go on.
Can't trust actual people whose job it is to make card games. I am constantly on fear that Kadani and Bushiroad is going to fuck up Weiss and Vanguard at some point. I literally put this thought up in my head. I'm like, every game that's made past 10 years, if you were to ask them to lift their proverbial shirt, you would see the number of scars on their body and the amount of times they've gotten near vital injuries. Vanguard looks like 50 damn cent.
Man, Vanguard's on that Zora routine, man.
Like, it's got 50 bullet holes near every single lethal body hole. And the fact that it's still walking around fine is nothing but a miracle of God.
Yeah.
But it's because it had a strong foundation to begin with. Battle Spirits Saga fumbled because it did not have a strong foundation. Build Divine fumbled because it broke its foundation.
Yeah.
Other games are going to fumble because they don't have a foundation. You literally do not have a foundation. And you want to tell me that it's going to get better because you did a few weeks of research on games when you should have done in the first place.
Foundation, there's not even a blueprint.
Like, you can miss me with that, bro. Like,
they went to Home Depot, grabbed 5 planks of wood and said, we're gonna build a house.
Like, damn. Like, at least hire the Mexicans in the parking lot. Like, I was racist. I'm sorry, but come on. At least hire somebody who will do the work. Who knows what they're going to do.
Not yours, so I'm catching the strays this week. If this is the episode that does us in, so be it.
Listen, we were already bad-mouthing VCard already. We were cooked from the jump. Now I'm just crashing out.
Like out of pocket, more like barely out of range.
What it really is, like, damn, I can't, like, I honestly would need to have the full context of what Shy Lily said, which is why I'm like, I still am like kind of like, okay, hold on.
I just want to see Shy Lily play the game. That's all I want. I just want to see someone in charge of this game play the game. anyone.
But it's just like you can't say this is your roadmap. Have your main person come in and say, "Hey, it will get better, I promise." But at the same time, a game literally died that had way more, that had everything you should have.
You're not gate ruler. You do not have the mandate of heaven to survive everything. You simply do not have the mandate.
Like, let's be honest here, Battle Spirits Saga only lived to its 2-year anniversary because
There were like 500 games to hide it.
mm-hmm. It, yeah, it's like it lived there because
V card is only going to live if people confuse it with V Royale.
it just makes me upset because I'm like, bro, y'all really thought y'all had something, and I want you to succeed, but holy hell, you can't just you actually just don't know what you're doing.
Right.
Man. Okay. Listen, I need to listen to the Shy Lily clip. So we might do a update next time. I think I'm done talking about this game. This actually might be the worst modern TCG launch ever.
Like I'm gonna
And
send
we
you the
literally
link to V
watched, and we
Royale.
literally just talked about a game that died because it didn't focus on what it needed to.
Like, look at this card, Vtuber card game. This came out around the same time, right? You can just like give them the how to play, and you can tell there's so much more effort
All right, let me
and
show
talent
it
put
up.
into it.
Let me pull it
Oh,
up. Royal TCG play orders. They're like, you brought me in how to play. Oh, this is Merryweather.
yeah.
Okay, you have a leader card, character, highlight, event, rarities, 4 different playable rarities: common, uncommon, rare, SR, SSR, roster construction. Because it's 30 cards with very limited different rarity types. Following are the limits of different card names. And yeah, it's got rarity, the amount of cards with the name, and you can have no limit. Okay.
Yes, you can. Right? Like,
Place
at least that's the thing.
placement. Yeah, it's like it shows up. Hey, this is the way the board looks. Here's how you play the roster: Star Pool, Graduation Zone, Starting Sanity. Actually has flavor. A manager with no sanity remaining resigns. Do your best to remain employed. Main setup. The actual game flow: starting phase, main setup, main step, combat phase, resolution. Like, just skimming it, it just has
Right.
a presentation that already tells you, yeah, this is the base of the game. Victory
There's even
conditions.
a glossary at the bottom.
Glossary. Oh, wow. Glossary, how the thing works. In combat effect glossary. Yeah, already how to play. There's a card list idea, shows you kind of it, and I can only assume this is like, the common, which if I consider just the common, high rarity, and it's like it's evolving, and then this is the rare, and just kind of like, cards related
And
to it.
you can actually play this game in a store.
I mean, I don't know,
But mostly.
but yeah, again, it's like high rarity. The high rarity stuff, you had to go out of your way for it.
Right. And,
And
like, the way the things are limited by rarity and whatnot, you're not just gonna benefit from, like, hyper stacking and, like, super welling.
like, I think the only thing is like the base, like the base card design is just kind of whatever.
Right,
Like some are just like, yeah, they're just like just slightly upgrades, and then some are like, for example, kind of like what was it? This one was like there's altered arts, but it's basically the same. And then there's this one, right, which is this one's like, yeah, you got like alternate arts and whatnot,
right.
which is like that's cool, that's different. Like,
Like, it's very in progress, right?
yeah, but it's like, yeah,
It's like
look at
there's
that.
a lot here.
It's like, yeah, no, there's a lot here, and it's like, okay, yeah, you got Merryweather as your like main lead, but you know, I don't know, and you know, I don't know who most of these people are. I'll be general, but
Right?
it's like you got,
There's some, like, fresh faces, yeah.
yeah, fresh faces, but they
Relatively.
have their own aesthetic, which works. Meanwhile, you have,
Like,
meanwhile,
this
you
might be
had
my favorite
who?
card in the
Shy,
set.
you have Shy Lily, Amelie, Cinder. You got Moist Critical backing you up. You got
Right?
Coefficient, Tectone. You got so many people who are,
All that money and no game to show for it.
yeah, and now you're basically on the back burner. Meanwhile, here's literally a artist putting
Just doing
in
it.
actual effort
Right?
out of a skim. What? Like you really like you're telling me
Like, dude, they made their own version of the pot of greed copy pasta. I will give them credit for that.
like this is actually insane to me. And then, you know, hey, you got all this there, individual packs, 5 cards, booster packs, tax. Let's look
Y-
at pre-orders. Let's see how this does. 509 or a box of 10 packs, 49.99. Oh wow, look at that. Already like a reasonable price game.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, oh wow. Like that's the biggest problem with VCard. V Royale came in and like V Royale actually came in and gave you the mission statement, the way the game plays, how it plays, the turn order,
Right?
and like legitimately showed it to you.
It told you the scope. It's like, here's the 12 VTubers. We're keeping things limited, but we got an actual game to show for it.
Meanwhile, you have a game that, you know, let me see if I can find the site itself, which is important. Here we go, VCard TCG. Put up there. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Wow, this kind of doesn't have the same sauce. There's literally a playable trailer on the home screen. Does not have the same sauce.
Right?
Like the text is just boring compared to this, right? There's
Like,
just an aesthetic.
right.
There's an aesthetic feel to it that feels justifiable. V card is available, and I scroll down. I immediately see cards. I see V Royale related content, news and events. They have a news. They have a news
They have a
location.
news page.
They show you the package, right? But they only have 3 things: home, how to play, card list, pre-order, and then pre-order. Now,
All
VCard
you
is
need.
VCard Gallery, Meet Stars, products, learn to play. Contact us. It's like Meet the Stars, like I mean, that's cool. That's
It is
great. But
right.
look at how many people you got out of this thing. Nimue, Amelie, Bao. Just people I know. Cottontail, Sayu,
It's just it's
Doki
just all
Bird,
heavy hitters.
Fifi, Foxy Rain. Let's see, Lucy Pyre. Is that like Meat Canyon? I don't know. Nanners, Shy Lily, Silver Rail, Cinder, Vienna, Tricky. Like, listen,
Mm,
this is literally like you got this is like literally like giving the access to make a card game with the NBA, with the equivalent of like the NBA. Like you have LeBron, you have like prime NBA. Like we got like we're talking like an era of like your first set has access to Kobe, KD, LeBron,
Everybody.
prime Dwayne Wade, Shaq. Like you got heavy hitters. Your game is ass.
Mm,
And again, I say this not to be disrespectful to these guys either, because they're probably really good.
right.
But like you have effectively like the D League, but the game is so much more aesthetically pleasing. It's like I'd probably rather play this even if I don't know anything.
Right?
Like you're being outdone. It
And like
frustrates
this
me.
this doesn't even get into the other trading card game like Oshi Puch, but that's from like Tanto Core. So like they have a bunch of experience like actual like deck building games and whatnot. They're jumping into the VTuber TCG space.
Yeah, it's just it frustrates me. I'm done. All right, we're
Yep, all
moving
right.
on.
We're moving on to the main topic of today, finally.
Yep. All right.
At the real remark, as always. That's how we do things here.
Yep. So Ultraman.
Ultraman.
So what is Ultraman?
It, it's a tokusatsu series started in 1966 about some silver and red giants fighting giant monsters. Probably the best way to summarize it for now. Oh my gosh.
What?
Hater number one has already arrived into the stream.
Mm,
Anyway, I'm sorry, my ops have arrived, as the kids say.
come on.
But I mean, that's the best way I could like summarize things. And a silver and red alien shows up. He fights monsters and aliens, and they've been doing it since '66. Very on and off.
Okay.
I think like ready to jump off from here. There's my weakness. Like anything one who has a launch pad.
Well, I don't know. I guess we kind of say it's like this. It's like so I will say, as someone who was only recently returned back to, I would say recently returned back into the tokusatsu space, but really more so it's more just like only the past year and a half where I'm like, oh, I finally am getting into more than the toku than just Power Rangers. It really just seemed like Ultraman is kind of like the one where it's like kind of gets lost in the shuffle of the big three.
Yeah. Oh shoot, why is my stream thing now? Hold on.
Oh
That
boy,
was
not again.
it was a random lag. Don't worry, it's like a random lag spike.
okay,
We're good. It
okay.
didn't DC. Okay, what were we saying?
No, so I was saying, like, out of like the big three toku genres of Sentai, Kamen Rider, and Ultraman, it kind of seems like, at least in the West, like Ultraman's kind of like the one that kind of like gets the least amount of like
Mhm.
notice.
And I think there's a few reasons for that, right? Like on the surface, it didn't get the same like treatment from like it didn't get the Saban treatment, right? Like it didn't show up on Nick one day, or like I mean not Nick, but it wasn't like an immediate Saturday morning hit, like an adaptation and whatnot. Although that's debatable. Like Ultraman's history in the West, right? Which might actually be its biggest strength and problem for adoption.
Hmm.
Because like the original show had a dub from '66, right? Second show had a dub. The anime actually got dubbed, surprisingly, even in the '80s.
Which I
And
didn't even know Ultraman had like anime like that.
right, yeah, there's like one anime in the '80s, '70s. It was weird. Like it was kind of like a space opera. Like it turned Ultraman to from like a monster of the week kaiju battle to like an actual space opera. And it established like a whole lot of lore stuff. So that was kind of cool. Like they thought, hey, we have a chance to make an anime. Let's go above and beyond, right?
Hmm.
And then came the weird point as far as the English adoption was, right? Because then we got an Australian production, Australian original,
Oh,
followed by an American one, right? Like both like completely original shows for Western audiences.
okay.
Crazy, right? Like you would not expect, or we're just gonna make a brand new original American Ultraman. And then a few years later, four kids get, I mean, Foxbox. And that's old as well. Foxbox gets Ultraman Tiga.
Hmm.
And then nothing else. That's it. Like it completely stops early 2000s. And I mean, and then like I guess outside of like just like the weird adoption rate, the other big issues are like conceptually it's a bit more out there. Like I'm writing like Super Sentai, right? You can easily down to you have some good old fashioned superhero stuff. Ultraman concept is a bit weirder.
I mean, you could probably be like, oh, it's it's fine, but more like it morphed into something a lot weirder too.
Right.
It's
I mean,
like
it was always kind of weird.
it's like Power Rangers and by extension Sentai kind of like stayed similar in what they do.
Right.
Like Kamen Rider kind of took breaks, but it's fine. But like Ultraman, from what I can understand, Ultraman was kind of like that superhero thing, and then it became this. It became something a lot different, right? Again,
Kind of, sort of.
so I'll cover like this. When Like, I remember trying to watch that Netflix Ultraman series,
Right.
and I don't know. I don't think it's just like I just wasn't in the mood for it at the time, so I kind of just like dropped it.
So funny story about that Netflix one, right? So originally the creator, so it's a manga, it's an adaptation of a manga, right?
The the
It was
Netflix Ultraman show.
original, yeah. It's a manga adaptation.
Hmm.
And funnily enough, it started as a bootleg Kamen Rider anime, I mean manga, until Toei said stop that. And then Super Riot came out and over and said, "You guys want the Ultraman license to keep going?" And so that's how we ended up there. And you get Kamen Rider but Ultraman in manga form, and
Wait,
then it gets a Netflix show.
so it was just his own manga, then it all of a sudden became an Ultraman manga like halfway through or something? Is that what you're
Like there was
saying?
a very similar manga before it, and then they took a lot of the ideas from that manga and then made it Ultraman.
Oh, so they had that manga, killed it, then basically rebooted it as an Ultraman.
Yep, Toei killed it because it was very clearly repping Kamen Rider. And because Super Rai is funny like that, they were like, "You guys want Ultraman?" And they
Huh.
said, "Yeah."
That is interesting.
I mean, they did the same thing with like Gridman, right? Like Super Rai just swoops in out and over and said, "You guys want Gridman?" And they're like, "Yeah." Like they're a funny studio for that I mean, company for that reason. Like they will just give people the rights to use their stuff.
I mean, I think the difference is the people ain't the difference between like how everything else is like, the people who actually use their stuff like ends up making a good product out of it most of the time, or
Right.
from what I can tell,
Like even Ultraman Rising, right? That new Netflix animated movie
which
was not originally an Ultraman movie.
I can kind of tell because that's what I was say. Like, I actually did watch that movie,
Hmm,
and I was like, it's very different than what I thought an Ultraman movie was going to be.
right.
Because, oh boy, that MC
Yeah.
is he is lucky that 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 dragon kaiju is hits the
Like
you are just adorable baby. Because holy hell,
it is funny though, because like the dynamic he has with his dad is actually pretty similar to another pair of another Ultra family in the actual Toku,
hmm,
which I'm pretty sure is a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. Because like there's this dude named Ultra 7, right? Maker to the second Ultraman show, very second one.
the second
Full
show is
Saga.
called Seven.
Ultra 7, yeah. It's a spy thriller. You know, like 007.
What?
Ultra 7.
What do you
Yeah.
mean the second show of Ultraman was the spy who shagged me at?
I kid you not. It's actually about like it's about like an Ultraman disguised himself as a human coming down on Earth and like fighting a bunch of alien like spies and whatnot, and, like stopping the evil plots every week. He
Uh,
even has spy glasses to transform into Ultraman.
yeah, it
L-
definitely took a
Literally
hard
the second
turn.
show.
It definitely hit that we need to that hard evolution fast. Because oh my goodness, there's no
Right.
way.
And like yeah, like and when they bring the series back in like 2012ish, they decided, we're gonna introduce Ultra 7 son, Zero, who's a complete asshole, overly cocky asshole, who just gets beat up until he turns to a better person.
And that's Ultraman Zero.
Yep.
So,
His big entrance line in his debut movie is, "I am Zero, son of Seven."
huh. So effectively they did like a what if we did a sequel to Kamen Rider Drive?
Yeah.
Which I mean might not be too far off.
Oh. But like, even else, and then like what was no we there's so much weirdness with Ultraman as a series. Like, heck, Ultraman isn't even technically the first Ultraman show.
What?
Yeah. There's a show called Ultra Q that was actually more like the Twilight Zone, but with weird monsters. And then Ultraman shows up in the last episode of like a Twilight Zone knockoff.
What?
Uh-huh. It was originally Twilight Zone with giant monsters. And then the second show brings in Ultraman.
So they just made that for the so it's like the Twilight Zone, you have the Twilight Zone, and in the final episode you introduce Doctor
Superman.
Who.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's funny.
And like it's funny because like the original the like opening for Ultraman, it like starts as the Ultra Q logo and then it explodes into the Ultraman one. Like they know what they were doing.
Huh. Well, yeah.
Even
So I was gonna say like it really does seem like the company that does Ultraman, at the very least, is like yeah we're trusting with our IP mostly because the people who actually like make stuff with it are like actually make stuff people kind of like.
right.
Whereas like kind of like they got uh, whereas like Sentai kind of got ripped off with Saban,
Uh-huh.
and then Master Rider was a completely disastrous thing, and then even though Dragon Knight
Right.
is kind of like looked at as like a cult classic, you know, it still wasn't like the
Well,
best.
well, that would say Dragon Eye is better than Ryuki. I may or may not be one of those 10.
I mean, I think it's just kind of like by the time Dragon Knight showed up, it's kind of like
Too late.
well, then I think like the early, at least the early acting didn't exactly seem like
Right.
it was all that great.
It took a while to find its footing, for sure.
Still recording good. So yeah, I watched Ultraman Rising,
Mhm.
and man, that like it's very hard to kind of make like an MC who is just an a-hole
Right.
and turn into someone likable. I think especially with the way they handled him,
Agreed.
because it's like God.
But like they also did a good job of like make you like get the struggle at least. Like I mean I'd be pretty mad as too if I was in his place.
Mm,
Like it's just a lot of pent up resentment, right?
I mean, yeah, but also it's kind of like that thing of like, you know, well, you know, Ultraman, you know the job, you know, sign up for
Hmm. Mm,
I don't know. It just took me a while to kind of connect with him as a character,
right.
and then we have this whole baby thing, and it's like, oh boy.
Joke's on you, it's a dad movie.
Oh, I thought you were gonna watch a giant kaiju fight. Surprise! It was me, kindergarten cop.
I mean, at least they managed one pretty cool fight at the end.
Yeah, I don't know. I definitely do feel like, yeah, they're gonna do a sequel to that.
Oh yeah, like especially for them just like out and about just introducing the main Ultraman homeworld.
Yeah, I did research on that. I'm like, that's gotta be somewhere important. It's like, oh, it's the
Yeah, Ultraman lore runs stupid deep. Especially once I started getting the weird things like gods and whatnot.
I I'd say that's weird, but like again, then
Funny
we had Common
funny
Rider
fact.
Gaim, so
The original like creator of Ultraman was actually devout Catholic, and you can definitely tell across the series, both ones he was involved with and just overall.
huh.
Like Anna's like, I read the Bible for cool things. AG Super I was like, I actually know this stuff. Like, what's the? Like, let me see if I can find it. Or it's like pretty early. Pretty early. Shoot, cannot find a good high resolution image of it. But yeah, it's pretty noticeable. And like one of the later shows even had a line like just talk about like how Ultramen aren't gods and whatever. Like, hey, I get it. You're a new Ultra. You want to save everyone, but kid, we're not gods. Got to make the hard choice. We just have to choose to protect, man. A lot of interesting elements throughout the franchise where you're just going, huh, that's kind of weird. But I think it works out in their favor. Happening in the background, dude.
What
I don't know, like it might keep picking up some stuff.
is it? I specifically made the noise key to not hear anything. Can you hear it now?
Nope, we're good.
Okay, that's weird.
The M78's really important place. And I guess like lore wise, I guess the brief summary for that for like that part of the Ultraman world, like lore.
Okay.
You got a race of like pretty regular humans, just in space, right? Their sun dies out, or like starts dying out. So as some researchers work on an artificial sun. The good news, it works. The bad is it kind of mutates their entire population into giants.
Oh,
Yep. And that's how you get Ultraman initially.
Well,
Also, their biology completely changes to be made of force particles,
what do you
which is a
mean?
whole other can of worms.
Okay.
It's super midichlorians. They're all Anakin Skywalkers.
Okay, I was gonna say, but you don't mean like what I think you mean, right?
I mean what I mean what I mean. I mean, they can do pretty cool stuff like, heal each other by just transferring energy or fusing. Because much like Dragon Ball, fusing eventually starts becoming the meta game.
Oh, oh, great.
Yep.
You know, now I was gonna say something. I was gonna bring it back to Darling Franks or something, but I'm like, nah, I'll probably just wait until next time to talk about that because I had like some an idea, and I was like, because he brought it up, I'm like, oh, that's something I should have brought up, but I'll wait till reach the end of the manga on that one.
Alright.
So,
Yeah.
uh, so they can fuse together.
They confuse. It's happened pretty often.
Once times, no, they've just started to fuse together more recently, a whole lot now.
Right. Like, I think they first started, I think it was Ultraman Gaia from the from the Digimon Tamers writer. He actually got his own Ultraman show. And it's full of the same weird cryptic nonsense you would normally wouldn't find in a kid's show.
Okay.
And essentially, Mother Nature chooses two champions. One for the earth, one for the land, and one for the sea. And they're just, tucked away to Holy War to protect the planet from invaders. They also hate each other.
Hmm. That sounds familiar.
Right? Yeah, then they do a lot of power transferring there and like refusing here and there in that one. And then all gloves came off.
I
And then
see.
very next, yeah. And then, people just started learning how to fuse. Heck, the very next show, started having an Ultraman that just had like 5 different forms like Frieza. They just started evolving through over the course of the series. Although that one was weird.
Oh, that one was the weird one.
Ultraman Nexus, it's like, so unlike every other Toku series, I'll be like, all right, we'll save our edgier for adult series for like a spin-off. They decided to make it a mainline show in terms of airtime.
I mean,
They,
how?
they, they just hit the ground running with their darker and edgier show.
I mean, how edgy could it have gotten?
All 3 Ultraman hosts die except for the last one. Episode of the week plots become, let's see how Satan tortures the main character this time.
Okay.
There's an entire CIA mind wipe plot that runs through the course of the entire series as people keep going insane from it, and it just keeps going.
Oh boy.
And it's a really damn good show. And then it got canceled. And they never did it again.
I see.
And like you can tell the exact point it got canceled because like they clearly started rushing every single plot thread. Like heck, someone gets to become Ultraman for like 1 minute, and they immediately just lose the power.
Yep. That sounds about right.
Like the other important thing with Ultraman is like how the dynamic changes for how the power works, right? And then like this is a big one. So you have the regular one, right? An
Uh-huh.
Ultraman bonds with a human, and then the human gets, they work together, and the human gets transformed into Ultraman. Pretty soon you get that like two-person dynamic and whatnot.
Okay.
Or sometimes you get the case in like Ultra 7 where like it's just an alien under disguise, it's just an Ultraman in disguise as a human and just doing wacky things. And then sometimes the human just gets the powers and then just gets to become Ultraman. Your standard Toku affair finally, right?
Mm.
Finally, something standard. And it gives an idea in each series because like you don't know which one you're gonna get.
Yeah, it does
I
make a
mean,
lot of sense.
there's an interesting one like Ultraman Dyna, right? Where like the main character's dad ends up becoming the Ultraman, and then his host becomes the son for him. Man, I wish my dad was here. But wait, son, I secretly am here the entire time. Pretty neat show.
Okay.
Really good show.
Yeah, I definitely really want to watch some more like Ultraman stuff.
Right.
Like, actually, where can I watch the Ultra? What was it? The first one that's technically the first, not the first one, but is the first one again.
Like the original Ultraman. Uh,
Like the
I think it's on.
like
I think there's a lot of them on Tubi actually.
I mean, like the show that's Twilight Zone
Ultra Q, right?
Ultra Q. That's the one I kind of want to like see, if anything, just kind of see how they do that.
Yeah, there's actually a ton of these on Tubi TV.
Okay, I definitely I might probably just boot one up after the show and just kind of like see.
Right. Oh wait, I think this has almost all the old school Ultraman.
Oh, it's actually pretty good.
All of the Showa Ultraman are on Tubi TV right now.
Okay,
That's kind of crazy.
yeah. Tubi, besides making weird movies, they got they got Toku.
Right.
Like
Okay, they have like they seem to have everything up to a certain point.
like
Actual, maybe.
which is funny because like I think was it Tubi, but I saw it. I'm like that is technically the only uh like actual place where you can actually like besides like Gundam Info, which only did it
Right.
recently. Like the first place like you could actually watch Gundam X
Yeah.
and Tubi. I'm like, wait, what?
Right.
It's actually kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie.
Right. There were like a few other places to watch. I know, like even Crunchyroll, just for some weird reason, had like a few Ultraman shows on it.
'Cause
But
you,
yeah, it seems like a lot of the older stuff is just on Tubi.
all right. So if you want to watch some Ultraman, some old Ultraman, Tubi's thing, and I know you said like some of the more current series are also on YouTube too.
Yeah, I think the three most recent, five most recent shows actually on YouTube, or like some obscene number of them.
Either officially or unofficial.
Official.
No, I'm just saying they're like either
Right.
both official and unofficial probably on there too. For example, I know I saw Hunter x Hunter, the OG Hunter x Hunter is just randomly uploaded to YouTube
Yep.
still, and it's like okay. If only a certain series had brought their old stuff, at very least kind of get that in there. Bandai.
Right. No.
That video is gonna be.
Right.
I got some to talk about. So, anything else you got to say about Ultraman?
I mean, quite a bit. I mean, I was just hoping, a lot more questions and things. Because, like, I've just, there's a lot of jumping off points for Ultraman, right? I mean, jumping on points.
Yeah, I think the thing is just like I am interested in Ultraman, so I am kind of like this, but I also don't want to like ask so many questions because I might spoil
Get
myself.
overloaded. Right. Like, I'm trying to keep things, like, not super spoiler heavy, you know? I guess it's more like primer stuff, right? I think there's a lot of, like, weird and funny lore tidbits, too. Like, so this guy named Ultraman King, right? And
Mm-hmm.
this is a pretty funny fellow. And funny, I mean incredibly mysterious. Like this dude's maybe the strongest Ultraman. But he also predates every single Ultraman we've seen in the series. And he just lives on a desolate rock. Like a planet with no one except for him on it. And no one knows who he is or his actual origin because he predates the entire like Ultraman accident basically. And they've just been like, are we gonna reveal his secret yet? No. But wait, no. There's an entire planet of Greek Adonis Ultramen that is also completely unrelated. Like the space race accidentally mutated the Greek nerds, whose entire gimmick is they're so buff they don't need power-ups. They just punch the villains. They don't like team attacks, they just throw energy balls. Like shot puds. And it's hilarious, because like you'll see all these Ultramen do all these cool things, right? And then 5 seconds later, they're gonna turn to the one dude that just does nothing except for flex. Like, man, dude, you're so strong, man. How can I learn from you? I can do this. It's like, what? That time, Ultraman kind of accidentally genocided an entire race of alien.
What?
At literally episode 2 of Ultraman. Ultraman kind of just exterminates an alien species that were fleeing. Yeah, it just comes out of nowhere. Some aliens are, so the gist of it's like only episode 2, right? Not really a big spoiler. But some aliens come on Earth, right? Some scientists apparently accidentally blew up their like homeworld. They come to Earth, they're like, trying to move in, maybe like make a home for themselves. They go, take me to your leader. And then Ultraman starts fighting them. And as they're fleeing, you see Ultraman just fly up to the ship. There's an explosion. And the episode ends.
What?
Uh-huh. There were at least 1 billion aliens on that ship.
Just like, no witnesses, no survivors.
Funnily enough, a few of them do survive, and they all come back just hating the hell out of every single Ultraman.
I mean, warranted. Now, granted,
Yeah, and
if
then
I was just a random Ultraman, and all of a sudden I got ops, I'm like, bro, I didn't even do nothing. It's like, oh, it's not your fault. It's the first ones. It's like, huh? What do you mean
no,
the
it gets
first
even
one? Don't
worse.
worry about it.
Because there's like a later series where they come back in like a movie, right?
What?
And then there's an entirely separate group of Earthlings. And they're like, man, dude, we gotta finish what that first Ultraman did and just blow the rest of these guys up. It's like, what the hell, man?
Just inherited beef for no
Even
reason.
the Ultraman in that show, who is normally the most peaceful Ultraman ever, it's like, we got to exterminate these fools again.
It's like, what? Just inherit generational hatred
Right?
for no reason.
None. Like even that manga that I told you about earlier,
Oh,
for good reason, there's a galactic council who blows up the Ultraman's homeworld for repeated crimes against alien kind. And one of the people on the tribunal is the original Ultraman in disguise.
what?
He hit the exterminatus on his own people.
What? Why? It's all your fault.
Right? You're the reason we're doing this. Like
The Ultraman have had it good far too long. What do you
like
mean far too long? You're the entire reason.
like it is in lore, Ultra, like the original Ultraman is actually just a weirdo. Like in canon. Like there's a
Actually,
lot of weird things, right? Because suit design and like creating Toki suits gets better over time, right? Costuming.
uh-huh.
He has 3 different looks over the course of the series. For some strange reason, they've been retconned into different forms.
What do you
This
mean?
suit is just this suit is just metamorphosizing over time.
So
Like
they just
his body is just active. Yep.
the suit just looks different in the same show,
Uh-huh.
and they get him through it by just saying, "Oh no, he was just evolving the whole time."
Yep, he's just yep, uh-huh. And like it gets funny because like how low the budget was. Like they reused an old Ultraman suit for like his commander, Zophy. They just put some like bejeweled studs on his spot on his chest. Like, hey guys, here's a new Ultraman. It's like I'm you but bedazzled. And this bedazzled Ultraman is canonic is like maybe one of the strongest in the series. Heck. There's a character in Ultra 7 named Seven Superior, and it's just another Ultra 7 suit. And he has only ever shown up once. Like, the early shows are so weird. There's a character named the Mother of Ultra, and they just put fake boobs on the original Ultraman costume.
What?
I kid you not. Like, they were just making stuff up. Let me see if I can find it. Like, you're gonna laugh when you see this. They, they've even better design. Don't worry. Oh god, I don't even think I can show this. It is that bad. Like I cannot show this on stream.
I mean,
Like this is what we're rolling with here.
it can't be that bad. What the duck is that? Wait, that's just.
Uh-huh.
Are those nipples?
Uh-huh. I mean they gave her a better design later. Like right after.
Okay. All right.
But they still keep the terrible twin tails.
Okay. Well.
A much more respectable design.
All right. Let me see. Uh. Yeah. Still kind of weird, but yeah, much more respectable than.
Like hair gets weird with Ultraman. Like one of Ultra 7 could just turn his pompadour into a knife. We choose not to question the physiology of these creatures.
I.
They are made of force particles.
I mean,
There was a scene where an Ultraman gets frozen, decapitated, and has all their body parts sliced apart, and they just glide them back together.
I mean, come on, bro.
You can't kill these people.
I mean, crying out loud. I got reminded of the Optimus Prime was a crocodile episode of Transformers. Back then, it didn't matter.
No. There's a mysterious floating evil halo on a planet that just chooses to turn people into Ultramen and then give them like holy pilgrimages that will result in them dying most of the time.
Okay.
Like just a ring in space that's like, I will grant you the powers of an Ultraman. And every time we hear of someone who, like half the people we hear of, they just either die or turn into monsters. It's like, why are you a thing?
Because okay, just if you want to just watch the show now. I'm not gonna lie.
Right? Just for all the zaniness.
Yes.
There was an episode where Ultraman battles cryptocurrency.
How?
Well, so some company introduces a new cryptocurrency into like a town, brand new currency, right? And I was like, wow, this thing's gonna replace money. And then they also introduced like a robot mascot that's also like a streamer. And then people start donating way too much, like almost all their new earned crypto to them.
Ah, so VCard.
Yep, which causes the economy to crash. And so Ultraman has to somehow fight the robot and re-stimulate the economy by releasing the money again.
Okay.
Kids, we're going to teach you a lesson about money, the economy, and fiat currencies. For like 20 minutes.
I feel like all right, we're done here.
That was it. You peaked there.
And I think any more conversation we're just going to just I just want to start seeing some of this for myself. So
Yeah.
all right, so
You can literally start anywhere. Although I will say for the more modern shows, I guess I'm going to tell you my Ultraman instead, whatever you want to call it.
okay.
There's also the Zero Saga. So like there was a lot Ultraman pretty much like Super I went broke in like 2006, 2008-ish. They were just blowing money. And so Bandai decided to build them out.
Of course.
Yep. So the first two shows they make are called Ultra Galaxy Mega Monster Battle and Mega Monster Battle Neo. And together it's 24 episodes of Pokemon with giant monsters. Just giant monsters beating the hell out of each other in increasingly crazy ways.
Okay.
Pretty peak. And then after that it's I keep forgetting the exact title of it. It's sorry, Mega Monster Battle Ultra Galaxy the movie. And that's where we get Ultraman Zero. He just comes in and hijacks a Mega Monster Battle movie. And then he gets a bunch of spin-offs and like movie sequels and like, shorts and whatnot. That just keep expanding even more lore expansion. And it's a pretty great saga. You get introduced to cool things. A bunch of other Super Riot heroes get remade. Some new looks. And that's where the best start. Like, you want to get like the full lore breakdown and everything. Go with the Zero Saga,
Okay.
which is also on Tubi actually for the full thing. They really just call Ultraman Zero the Chronicle, which even so for some reason divides a lot of the movies into their own episodes in like multiple parts. It's even more digestible.
Okay. Well, I'll keep all that in mind. Anyway, I think we are done here because I'm actually starting to
Get interested?
that, and I'm hungry and starting to get tired. So
No problem.
we
Let's go Kapan stream. Got to do it at some point.
oh, you know what? I want to go on a quick rant before we kind of close it because I just remembered.
Sure.
Did
Actually, I
you
got
see?
you there. Minute break
So
for the rant.
okay, so this is probably the big number one thing I'm really kind of upset with, and that is. Oh wait, why did you take a break when I'm literally trying to? Left, right as I'm trying to. I need you to actually like. I'll just wait.
Sorry about that.
Okay. Yeah. So, have you seen the trailer for the new Smurfs movie?
No.
You didn't know there's a trailer for a Smurfs movie, did you?
No.
There's a trailer for, for a new Smurfs movie,
Uh-huh.
a live action one.
Yes, of course.
And I gotta say, this movie could actually be probably one of the best pieces of Smurfs media of all time. I need
Huh?
Paramount to fire whoever makes their trailers.
God, yeah.
Because guess
Dude,
who
was
put.
Transformers 1 also Paramount?
Yes.
Yeah, I figured.
So I watched that trailer. And the Smurfette is played by Rihanna.
Ah,
Yes.
man.
There's a secret organization, special ops squad, resistance squad of Smurfs that live in Paris.
Oh, no.
And apparently, Smurfette knows what the Eiffel Tower is, even though they've never been outside of the Smurf village. They also have an influencer Smurf now.
Oh, no. Oh, man, speaking of that weird special ops, I'm gonna... Dude, there's a show called Ultraman Neos, right?
Okay.
And for some weird reason, there's a dude in there called Ultra 721 who may as well be a member of Ultra CIA. Dude disguises himself as literally anyone shows up out of nowhere, and it's just in bloodlust the entire time, killing monsters, just madness. It's like, who are you?
I don't know,
Why
but
is there an Ultra Fed?
I don't know. But let me get my
Yep.
rant off. This trailer was so terrible. Never in my life should I ever hear halfway through, like, you. I want you to think, what would ever make you watch a trailer and you hear something so bad, you turn off the thing you were watching the trailer on?
Oh no.
Because halfway through, you hear Rihanna music. And then out of nowhere, DJ Khaled!
Oh no. Yeah, I'm out. Any video with that is just poisoned.
I'm like, oh nah. I almost turned off my whole phone. Not turn off the trailer, not turn off not out the YouTube thing. I'm literally just almost hit the turn off the thing and just said, nah, it's poison now. I can never use the phone again. It's over. Like I saw a Smurfs trailer with DJ Khaled in it. Like he might not even be in a movie, but the fact that in 2025, any trailer that has a bunch of pop culture out immediately outdated references and has in the middle of the trailer DJ Khaled actual like voice in it, I'm like, all right, we're done. You actually have learned nothing.
They have poisoned the well.
Like, again, it could be the best piece of Smurfs media. I wouldn't know because that trailer's so trash. I never want to see the movie again. I actually hope the movie. I hope the movie fails.
Transformers 1 just got robbed.
It really did, because I don't know how you dropped this and it's like, oh yeah, we got some good fire. Listen, Transformers 1 was a fluke, but this year this is peak. This is cinema. Just show me that shit.
Right. Like, trailer people need to be fired. Because you know it's third-party companies doing these. Like, same thing happened to the first Suicide Squad, right? They just made that trailer. And everyone say, we gotta change the movie to be more like the trailer, and it just completely doomed it. Trailer people are the worst. Like, what, your actual in-house editors can't make a trailer? Like, come on. Come on. Alright. And that's my mini rant done.
Yeah. All right. So again, I just saw it because I looked on Twitter, saw the IGN thing. I'm like, oh, okay. I saw IGN talk about Rihanna's playing Smurf. I was like, I don't care. Like, that was just so terrible. I saw it. I'm like, what is wrong with all y'all?
Right.
So yeah, that is it. That is it for this week's podcast. We obviously do this because we won't be around during the normal time. So next podcast will be on the 21st of February.
Got a nice little pause.
Yep. And then we will see what news comes out from there about everything that's going on. But that also says, like, put it here. I will be at BCS Tampa this next week.
Everyone go root for him.
Uh,
He either wins a BCS or he makes it and pulls at Evo. We gotta bet on one of these things, all right?
I mean, one of these is cool. I will take either or, but
Right.
I'm really just going because I really want to. I feel like I actually have some confidence. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Let's go.
Got this.
If not, hey, you know what? At least I can annoy Franz and see if I can get him on the podcast.
Right.
All right. So, you can find us all of our socials. They're all in the description below. Thank y'all for tuning in so much to another episode. We're out.
Right. We didn't have to talk about the newest Vanguard episode. Good job, everyone.
Yeah, anyway, we're out. Peace.
Yep. Peace.